This podcast is intended for an over 18 audience. If you are under 18,
Come out of it, you bastard!
Aloha and a very happy Friday. How are you, lads?
How are you doing?
Good now, Donal.
And it's great to see you live from the bog.
Welcome.
I can tell you one thing, I never seen a machine for throwing in turf like that.
She's nice on you, isn't she?
Oh, I'll tell you, even if you're the heavy one, you get her up to the top bunk.
Oh, yeah, definitely. She takes weight.
How are you, Donal?
I'm absolutely mighty, delighted to be here.
Are you burnt out from podcasts?
I am not, you can never have enough of them, and they're all different. It's not the same old stuff.
Is this the rarest one you've done now?
I'd say it is, yeah, definitely. Now, it's like you putching still where we are, then the back of the shed and covered in turf. You couldn't find us, like.
Shed in the shed.
Yeah, no one knows where we are. I won't give away the secret. The Taliban aren't hiding as good as E-Bucks.
Tell me, Donal, you got a new truck this year, didn't you?
I did a high tea.
Nice truck.
Yes, second Renault we had. Very happy with them. They're a nice looking truck. With a few little bits of technical issues. The AdBlue played puck in the dash one. I think we changed the pump twice. They've changed it this time that she pumps out, I think, before you turn it off. It used to crystallize. Yeah.
Purge. Clears it.
You'll have all the technical words. It used to crystallise.
Yeah.
When we opened it up the last time, it looked like something that was full of fucking cocaine. Like.
Oh, yeah.
But no, very happy. We had before that, we had a Scania second hand. We bought off David Larkin. And then we had a DAF before that. Bought off Corb Trucks. Had it, Jesus, I had that truck for 5 years. Never had a day's trouble out with it. The CF. And the first truck I ever bought then off Corb Trucks was a Mercedes Artego. It was a rigid. She had a high ab on it.
Yeah.
But no, I've had awful lucky touch wood. No real major fucking breakdowns.
And how many trucks have you got?
I've only the one.
You'd
We have a
always
second
say
one
to
on
me-
the way now. We'd have 12 or 13 trailers now, so we need another one for shunting, and because we have 4 or 5 teleporters now.
Yeah.
So there's a bit too much moving going on.
Any Hayab?
No high ab. When we'll say truck could get to site, he could drop the trailer and he could bounce for the second one.
Right.
We'd have 2 360 teleporters now unloading. Before that, we'd have an 18 metre and a 12 metre, because there were smaller houses, but they're all bigger now, so you don't want a teleporter driving around the site. You want it sat in one spot, picking off the trailer, dropping in. And they are a gift. We have the managers.
Are they your own ones or hired in?
Their own ones. I learned a fucking dear lesson. We done a house above in Mount Bellew, and we said we tried the 360, and we thought it'd take us a week, and then it was 2 weeks, and you're paying $1,400 a week plus the VAT.
To rent.
So $6,000 a month, and we bought the 2016 one, I think, for about $120. The payments were about $2.5 a month, so it didn't make total fucking sense.
Yeah.
But you're saving a man because he can drive it outside with the joystick. So me, Hull or Damien, whoever's on it, don't have to sit in the cab.
Yeah. They're like a miniature crane, aren't they?
Oh,
Some
gift.
job.
Best thing that ever came around the place.
Yeah. How do you move them around? Do you have a low loader?
Yeah, I have a low loader. So that's why I'm on about we could do with the second truck now. We don't sub any work. We used to at the start. My brother-in-law Brian Cunningham Transport, he'd have the yellow and blue trucks. You'd see them. He used to bounce trailers and move trailers for us, especially when we were backing over to the UK as well. You'd ship the trailer unaccompanied, and he'd pick it over there for us and stuff like that. But it's all Ireland now, so it's a lot more manageable.
Is all the gear yours? Machinery?
Everything. At the start it wasn't. We used to be renting from
Yeah.
everywhere. Now we own the lot. It's a lot easier. We have started to acquire it, I suppose, slowly but surely. We'd our first curtain sider there 3 or 4 years ago. Now I think we have 5 or 6 of them. We have step frame trailers, the houses go on. We'd have double axle steered and 30-foot trailers to get into a tight site.
I actually spotted one there. And is she actually double wheel?
Yeah, we had a single axle that we bought off Port Cabin Company, and we got a fella in Dundalk to make us one this year. And he made a lovely job of it. I'll send you the pictures. But she'd turn on a 50-pence piece, like.
She's a small wheel. I spotted one day. It looked like it was a double wheel.
Yes.
And a small wheel.
Yeah, they're not the standard super single, we'll say, but the 2 axles turn, and she's only 30 foot. But if we had a real tight site, now the problem with them is if you have low trees or cables, she's not the step frame. She's that bit higher, like she's a standard flat.
Yeah.
So most of what we like to use is a step frame to bring down the house in height, because you'll have trees and telephone cables and all that fucking caper.
You have a bridge near the...
Swinford, yes. Now, she's not as bad, because when you look at the bridge, it's an arch bridge. The arrow is at the lowest point, but actually the middle of it is 2 foot higher. But it took us a while to learn all that. I remember years ago when we started this with the Byrnes, I'd get into the trailer, we'll say half kilometre from the bridge. And when we get close to the bridge, she'd slow down and I'd stick my head up inside and I'd be on the phone saying, you're safe enough, keep going. We done that several times when we were a smaller outfit, because the Byrne was higher. So we could go, depending on what load was on it, she could be 16 to 17 foot. And the toll bridge, we used to have to go on the outside lane, do you know, where there's no canopy?
The double barrier.
Yeah, to get through.
Cheers.
Yeah.
We've come a long way from them days where I was in the middle of a trailer.
Health and safety and all that. And do you have vans then? Are you rented with vans?
I have a big fleet of Renault vans, so we rent most of them. So every 3 years they change them. We'd have a lot of Masters, a lot of Traffics. The Masters, we had Transit first. So again, when you're small and you start out, you can't afford anything. And my foreman at the time had a Transit Micheál Lavin himself, a short wheelbase, and she pulled 16-foot Ifer Williams everywhere first. So we have a great fleet of them. Oh, Mighty Oak, but he wanted a Transit. So Northgate got us a crew cab Transit, brand new, and we were going to England to put up the Byrne for Top Gear for Carfest.
Stop.
And out we went with the Transit, double axle Ifer Williams, and we had the Daft truck at the time, and we bought 2 more Ifer Williams when we were out there. But he was obsessed with Transit, so I told him anyways after the 2 years was up at Northgate, and you were getting raped with them as well. It was still about 600-700 a week nearly. But because you were small, you couldn't get finance. And I said, we're going getting a Renault crew cab. Will you as well get me a good jacket, because we'll be stood at the road most of the fucking time. That's what he said. But he went through, I think, 2 crew cab Renaults. And now we got rid of the crew cab because we don't need that no more with the lads. Because we're not putting up the Byrnes. So you don't need a big crew. But we had a great success. The Traffics, the new ones, the red edition, lovely looking van. The leather inside, the alloys, all that. Little bit, some of them are tricky.
Did he fix the steering lock in them? It was a very bad steering lock.
But even the truck was the same. The steering has well improved in the last 4 years from the first ones.
Right.
The Dermot, our original truck driver, hated the steering in the first high T. And it was the same in the van, but the newer ones now are 100%.
Like a Zetor.
Once you have a Zeta, you'll never forget her. But no, we deal with Shaw's Casper. Very happy. Mick has given us great service. We went out to France to the factory for the World Cup. It's unreal to see how they're made, you know, and the detail that fucking goes into them. Renault had an awful name. I don't think it has it anymore.
No, to be fair.
And they're a fair looking fucking truck.
They're
now.
a nice
they're a
one.
lovely truck.
You
They've came from a bad place.
Oh, they did. They did. But sure, look at Skoda years ago used to be the same, and now it's
Volkswagen.
Yeah, they're the new Toyota now.
But your Volvo and Renault are pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, the Renault has a Volvo engine. Skoda's have a Volkswagen engine.
Oh, that's right.
Sort of Renault's the transvestite of the Volvo.
Huh?
Same running gear the Renault has as the Volvo, yeah.
Yeah. But the Volvo would only let them go to 540. They won't let them go any higher.
Won't let the Renault go any higher?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
What do you mean 540? The horsepower?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Don't know.
That's strange. And the running Volvo running gear, like.
Yeah.
So bumper to bumper warranty.
I don't
Probably
know.
more problems with the more higher horsepower.
Maybe so. Haven't a clue.
Yeah, that's strange. I never even knew that.
Did he throw the wheels on for you, or did you put them on?
No, we spec'd it up a bit. So we spec'd the alloys, we spec'd the paint work, the chrome bars, the side bars, the lights around the back. And it's nice to do it at the start instead of adding and bollocks.
Yeah.
It's lovely to spec it up and it looks well.
Take
It
it
does-
out and you're
Yeah.
like, done.
Yeah.
It is nice with the BRB. It is a very.
And we changed the grill in the middle. We sprayed that as well. Them standard grills don't come. They come in like a grey, I think. The last one had the grey. Just not as nice of a touch.
Will you send it to a truck show this year?
Definitely we will try and get it out. I have also an American Freightliner bullnose that we bought 3 years ago off SteelTech.
Oh, yeah.
Sean Brett who owns SteelTech had 2 of them. And good old friends of Sean, he's a header. He bought them in an auction one night, mad fucking drunk.
Is he the fellow in the videos?
Yes, SteelTech, the grey hair and the glasses.
And he be dressed up as a leprechaun.
Yeah,
Is he actually the boss man?
He's the boss man. So he
Jeez.
started that off. He was selling briquettes and coal. and he saw that all the old timber sheds were fucked. So he started Steel Tech. But as he's a whore for, and he'll say it on any podcast he's done, for buying shite, made drunk on auctions. So he bought 2 Freightliners, and he had them parked outside Steel Tech in Tuam, and he had them all done up like transformers. But when I was up there one day, I said, fuck, I'd love one of them, Sean. He said, well, I'll sell you the fucking truck. So we bought the truck, and it's up a coil complete now in the north. Jesus, I'd say nearly 3 fucking years. So if they're listening, you might finish it off, lads. It'd be great. But we'd get all the chrome redone. The windscreen came from America twice because it's like this. And every time it fucking came, wasn't it cracked?
Oh, jeez.
They done Caterpillar engine in it. That had to be redone out of crowd from Killybegs that do boats. I think there's an asbestos clutch. Would that be right?
Oh, the wear plate.
Yeah, that was enough job to complete. So I think of all that done now, she's back in, and they've promised me by the end of August. So we're mad to get that out.
You were actually saying about that last, wasn't it? When we were up
This
that
has gone on
night?
a long time.
And you were
I've
saying
stopped
that it was
talking
ready.
about it now because it's embarrassing.
Yeah, you were actually telling me in a month or 2 you were hoping to
I
get
had
back.
hoped, but look, the amount of work when you have a fucking truck and parts coming from America. No more than the Jeep. Even at the moment, I'm waiting for brake calipers. I'm waiting
Dodge.
6 fucking weeks. Like,
The Ram.
yeah.
And there's nowhere to rebuild the likes of that.
There isn't really, I suppose. I don't know. Coil Complete were known for doing stuff, and that's why I picked them. But any parts all have to come from America. When we were out the last time putting up the house, I bought all the bits I fucking needed, and that's when I ordered the part there, the customs and everything. Just near double if I
Yeah.
bought it out there. Like.
It's a bollocks.
But I've had fuck all trouble with the Dodge. I've heard now 2019. No trouble at all.
There's a few lads around here with them as well, and they loved them. They only sent me a
If
snap.
I won the
today.
fucking lotto, I get a new one.
Yeah.
Does Sal have one?
That's still, he sent me
Does
a
he
snap.
still have it?
Yeah, it's only fully respread and all underneath, and he sent me a snap for today.
Oh, go
Picking it
away.
up, yeah.
Cheers.
Is she petal?
Yeah.
Because I met a fella, we're building a house from, he's living in London, but he's from Roscommon. His is on gas. Gas and petal.
Well, how would that work?
I don't fucking know, I've never seen the like of it.
You can get conversion kits, can you? Can't you?
Well, he must have it. Now, his was newer than mine, and there was a few class details in the back of the bed of it.
How much are they new?
I think they're
You
about
definitely priced them.
$70,000 new. For the lower spec one, you went up to the Hemi, she's about $85,000. But it's the import duty.
Yeah.
Like, trucks aren't dear in America, and when you pull in to fill at the fucking pump, sure, I done that, I think it was $28 to the tits. Here, it cost me €140.
Yeah. Yeah, that house you brought out to America, that was impressive now.
Now, that was a bit of trucking.
How much of a pain in the hole was that?
It wasn't too bad when we got going. It was to get a company that had open top shipping containers. So that's where you can load in through the door, and then you drop in little bars and you roll a canvas across it. And we wanted the trailer left on site for 2 days to load it, and left on site for 2 days to unload it. And they charged me nearly $2,000 every day for that, especially in America. So
You mean you were on site to load it, that was in Ireland?
Ireland, right? So then we went out to America, and it was great. You could watch it on the tracker. So she left Ireland, went to Dublin to Rotterdam, and it was sort of, it seems to be, everything that goes to America goes to Rotterdam. There's a boat that goes weekly, and it's like a nice size shipping container, but it got on a monster then in Rotterdam and went straight to New York, into Newark, not far from the airport. And then we tracked it. The first one was picked, and they said they'd be in Rhode Island for 8 o'clock in the morning. 5 to 8, she pull in on the button. Little Asian bucking in a massive Volvo bull nose. I done a video with him, you'll see it.
I see it.
I love cracking it. Now, the cab, so disappointed. Look, stinker had rotten the country. He had it upside down. No bit of respect for the truck at all. Like.
I think they're all that way out there.
I don't, yeah.
But I'd be the total opposite. If you're going living in the fucking thing, wouldn't you have it immaculate?
Yeah.
Like, compared to the way you keep your trucks. So he cut the old yoke at the back, and we had it emptied, and he landed 2 days later with the next one, and it went sound. But it was 22,000 to get the 2 containers from Swinford to Rhode Island. Yeah, it's a lot.
So for that person that got that, was it still Well, is there anyone in the America that could do what you do?
So, look, way back we went to Pennsylvania to see there's over 30 factories in Pennsylvania making factory-built modular homes. But the way the Americans make the house is like taking that truck and dividing it into 3 pieces, shipping it down the road as
One piece.
Yeah,
So
and then
three
put them
sections,
together.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
see them
But
online there.
the roads here aren't able for it, lads.
No,
Not a fucking chance. And I call them the Wonder Bra House because they look lovely from the outside and you get all excited till you see what's behind it. There's nothing there. And that's the truth. Like, when we went into the factory, timber and fucking rock wool, like this yoke here is better built in it. We're heavy gauge box iron steel, foil backed insulation. We meet the snow loads and the wind loads for the US, which are 30% greater than Ireland because they have hurricanes. So our panelised construction model means we can get down narrow roads. We can put it on for Williams trailers, send it out on the boat to Clare Island in Turk, that you can make the jigsaw smaller pieces.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you take the cost of any type of house in America, it's still about $80 a square foot dearer than Ireland. So if you have 1,000 square foot house, that's 80. The average house in America is 2,500 square foot. So it's a fucking 160, 170 grand. So even though he paid that amount extra for the shipping, he
Still
still got
cheaper.
the house way cheaper.
Yeah.
Was it an Irish person over there that bought it off you? Or?
No, so it's a company called Dean Warehouse and a man called Brad Dean. And I suppose, they originally would have come from Ireland, his great-great-grandfather. They have a massive distribution company in warehouses. They have a house that was at front of the factory that was burnt down. So they decided they'd use this as a test case scenario. And if it worked, then they planned to do like retirement communities. So instead of older people here going into a nursing home and die away, they move into houses, communities, and they can play fucking golf and go fishing. And there's a
Chess.
doctor and chess if you're into that. So I'm heading you for fucking chess.
Hey, speaking of fishing, hey, some about you fishing there lately, or one of your vans fishing?
Oh, you're a cute cunt. Jeez, that puck was nothing with the rod out.
I fucking laughed me whole off now.
Yeah, well, that fella, he's full-time fishing now, the bollocks. I can tell you that.
That was funny.
Did you hear that one, John? So I'll tell him, Donal.
So,
Before you start, have you the bottle opener?
she's on top of the truck here. She's on the visor.
Take it down now.
We have trackers in all our vans, and I don't spend the day fucking looking at them. You know, if I need to know where someone was, you can see it if you couldn't get a hold of them. But this puck, anyways, went down. The 4-man left him, himself and another lad, in Cork to do a day and a half's work. And 3 days later, they come home. And the foreman said to me, they completely took the fucking piss. The following week, I went down, fuck all was done. Not even the day and a half's work. So, anyways, I checked the tracker and we watched the movement of the tracker flat out. And we have other fellas that were down there doing deliveries. The 2 bucks were fucking fishing. You fucking believe that now.
Parked up the van out with the rod.
Well, what they do is they'd get up a bit later in the morning, they'd rock in for an hour or two, fuck off, they go fishing in the middle of the day, come back for an hour and then go fishing in the evening. Yeah, well, he's full-time fucking fishing now, let me tell you. So he is the bollocks.
Did he catch on?
He did crabs. He caught crabs.
He caught his P45 quicker than he thought.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, now I'd laugh so much.
You only have to give credit to us.
Will you fuck right off?
But you know-
You can tell you're not self-employed. Give me credit, the cunt. It's a fucking credit phone he'll want soon because he won't afford the bill.
But you know what I can picture? A nice little calm lake, B&B home van, and 2 boys sitting out the back door.
Yeah.
Great advertising
Yeah.
for fishing boats.
But they're down in a beautiful county. It's a Cork county. Is it?
Yeah. You get away with it down there.
Look, everyone in Cork is doing nothing with the rods out most of the time. It's shocking, like. Sake, like. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I know, the B&B home sitting up beside the lake. Fuck.
Do you like fishing, Don?
No, I never went fishing.
No.
Catfish.
I couldn't see you having the patience for fishing.
Yeah, no, went to the time for it.
No.
Busy.
Yeah.
Hey, if you brought 6 cans of cider, you might consider it.
Yeah, but sure he'd only be fishing a half an hour then.
Do you do anything with the chapels anymore?
No, I sold my chapel to a hotel not far from here. I sold it to the Clonard Court in Athy.
Oh, yeah.
And they made a lovely job of it. There's like a barley field out the back and they've done like a pathway out. And when the barley grows, it comes up around it.
Oh, cool.
So the chapel was my second building ever. So there was a competition called Mayo's Best Young Entrepreneur, and you had to have a new idea. And I already had the barn, but the yes vote had come to Ireland, and same-sex marriage was accepted, but there was no place for them to get married. So I thought, look, if I can make a fucking Byrne mobile, I could make a chapel mobile, like Vegas. So I pitched the idea, and didn't I win Mayo's Best Young Entrepreneur, 20 grand, and I built a little white chapel. So we launched it on Claggan Island out in Belmullet. You can drive out to the island when the tide is out. And Sean Kane wrote a song for it and came out and sang it. And fucking...
He wrote a song for the chapel.
He did. You'll get it on YouTube. Sean Kane did, yeah.
I
The
love
Little White Chapel. And we had an off drinking Belmullet that night. And the chapel then went round and we done...
How many weddings did it do?
Oh, I don't know, 10 or 20. And the problem was the cost, setting it up. If the couple were cute and they had the afters in it as well. So we'll say when the wedding was over, they took out all the seats. So we done one in Mullockmore, which is the cliff in Sligo, where Mount fucking Batten got blown up for riding young bucks.
yeah.
Yeah, by the IRA, down there.
Yeah.
So at the edge of the cliff, we sat it. They got married. They all came out for champagne, out with all the pews, in with the round tables and chairs. Caterer pulled up, and that made sense.
Yeah.
But given 6 grand to just have the chapel and then go
Leave another 6 grand.
was expensive, yeah.
Yeah, smart.
But that's where it is now, the Clonard Court, and they have a fucking serious job done it.
Which is I never even seen it. I was often over there, never.
I don't think you see the inside of a church too often at all, I'd say. Now, it's time you'd want to be fucking shaping yourself as well and make an honest woman out of that girl.
When's the date, Stephen?
Yeah, Stephen.
I got engaged, let me alone, leave it at that for a while.
Oh, God, that's about it.
Ah, no, time.
You shouldn't be allowed to stick it all in until you're fully married. Only the top would when you're engaged.
Hey,
As it soon fucking shaping you up and get you married.
Some say that'll do.
a lot of girls. That's enough.
Do you want to call him Cork Ken?
Huh?
Cork Ken.
Is that what they call them?
No, Chub, the dog food. No, the old stick of dog food you get in the supermarket.
Oh, right.
Chub Dillon.
Lovely. Well, I'm kind. Whatever you're into there now, lads.
That's what they say.
The pub. Tell us about the pub.
Eileen's Bar. Sure, you've been there.
Yeah.
There was 2 pubs in our village, small village called Aghamore, not far from Knock. And years ago there was a shop, 2 pubs, a hardware store, Undertaker, and Eileen's was the hardware store, grocery store, pub, and they had a little Hackney service because no one had cars back then. Yeah. So Mickey and Eileen Rogers.
Hackney's the shop, isn't it? In a van, isn't it?
No, Hackney is a taxi.
Oh.
So they had a Volvo car years ago. There would have been only like 2 cars in the village back in the day. My old fella now was telling me all this. I don't remember it.
Right.
They had no children, and Eileen lived till 105 or 6, I think. Massive age. And when she retired, we'll say at 70, the pub went closed then. So the pub was closed for an awful long period of time. And the other pub across the road was tipping away, but no music. No thinking outside the box, as in just your local country pub. If you walked in, everyone turns around to look at you.
Yeah.
Right, so we would travel for music, the same as yourselves. Creamy pints and fucking music and crack. And when it came up for sale, I said, fuck it. We'd have a ratlet. So myself and another publican went on it. We went to 80 grand. It was red rotten now, 2 petrol pumps outside it. We lashed out, forgot about it. A year later, the auctioneer rings us back and said, your man can't come up with the funds. I was in Spain at the time on holidays. And I went back to him and said, this is the offer. You have an hour to accept it. It's gone. He rang me back. We'll take it. So we got it for a song, but we had to spend a fortune. So we kept 3 walls at the front to keep her looking identical. Knocked out the back wall, dropped in a modular frame. We started in August, and we had a big sign on the scaffold coming December 19.
Oh.
And sure, everyone was laughing. There isn't a fucking notion. This place red fucking rotten, and this Dave cunt thinking he's going to open it in December. So there was bucks taking bets, and sure, that came back to me, and I was delighted. I said,
Challenge
oh,
accepted.
Jesus, challenge. And when we'd finished work, when she was ready for slabbing, when she was first fixed, Michal Lav and Francis Egan and myself would rock in there once the kids were in bed in my house, 7:30, 8 o'clock at the time, and we'd work till 2 or 3 in the morning, slabbing. Off to work again, big gangs, and we were fucking flying it. And at the start, maybe winding it back a bit, we were maybe only a month into it. Private number rings me this day. How are we getting on? Donal Health, HC. You've been reported for unsafes works. We're closing you with immediate effect. I want your risk assessment method statements, all your work training. I want inspection of the scaffold, blah, blah. So, sent all that. She came out and inspected. We were closed for 2 weeks. So, we lost 2 weeks. So, you imagine now the men that had the money on were delighted.
Would you think some of them reported it?
Oh, I'm going to get to that now.
Oh, right.
So,
Just John, you open that window.
You get warm.
These
Either
stories get me excited, you see.
But Jesus
Lads
Christ.
betting money in pubs and stuff.
So,
Don't see me in Cheltenham.
what was next then? Right, we got going. And we had our skimmed, starting to second fix. All second fixed, sorry. ESB application gone in, and we're open on Friday the 13th of December. Now, Friday the 13th is always my date. I open the factory in it, I pass my driving test in it, just like the opposite to what everyone else does. And we'll say 2 days beforehand the ESB are due to come out to turn on the power. Everything is ready to rock and roll. We got a thing from Recce to say you've been reported for uncertified electricians on site. We have to do a full audit and we'll be out in January. So 2 big fuck off generators, fair play. Brian Harrington went and got me one business up the road, a quarry company, and I can't remember who got me the second. Plugged them in and we ran her off generators. And we had a fucking mighty Christmas. So then...
Yeah. I was going to say that.
Why? What happened with
You
Clarkson?
remind us like Charles Clarkson.
Well, what did he do?
Well, he gets tick, you have an idea and you go for it.
Well,
Somebody end up on generators and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Did you not watch his last series?
No.
Well, he is like Clarkson of Ireland.
That's what I was going to say in a while. Like, do you know the way you love to farm local, shop local, like everything? Could you see Eileen's having a farm shop?
Geez, maybe in time to come. I do love the idea of I suppose,
Local
bringing
produce.
back the small butcher, bringing back the small corner shop. Like, I put a proposal to the council years ago that, especially when I got the massive rates bill in Swinford, why do the small businesses have to pay on square footage? It should be on a profit margin. Why aren't you hitting Tesco's, Lidl and Aldi with the massive rates and take that rates money and give it to the local butcher shop and keep the small businesses open and fuck the big fellas? You know, why are we minding the big fellas instead of the small fellas?
Should have don't care if to keep the local butcher up. That's
But it's such a skill. Like, I just butchered, and I know you're passionate about meat. I'm the exact same.
Yeah.
Like, fucking Shannon's in Kilshamark closed. Jeez, it was an awful blow. And no, I remember placing a massive order his last week, and I stockpiled the deep freeze because no one done pork belly like him for the barbecue. He had won massive awards for sausages. And if you go into Tesco's, you don't know what the fuck you're buying.
No,
not a prayer.
definitely, it's different.
Preservatives and shit in them, like.
It's local. Like McCarthy's in Kentucky. You just know exactly. He'll tell you, Joe. He'll tell you this is from O'Brien in Churchtown, and you know I know the farm.
Yeah.
Joe, his cattle is local.
Was it last Saturday?
But we need to
we were
go
down
back
there.
to that.
But could you set up a shop there?
We were there last Saturday.
You could.
Oh yeah,
You could. The only problem, I suppose, with setting up the shop there is you got the food lady in. You'll have to have his whole separate business, has to be clean, meet all the regulation. Like, years ago, there's a little building right beside the church in Aghamore. Our local butcher from Kilkelly, Duffy, would open just on a Sunday. Open the doors. He'd have a load of meat with him. Spread it out on newspaper. People would buy it and fuck off.
Yeah.
Sure, he'd be shot now if he'd done that and arrested.
yeah.
But it's simple things like that is what we'd want to go back to, because it's fucking mental the way it's going.
There was not as much sickness back then as there is now.
But your bucks were hardier. Fucking the dates are on everything now.
Yeah.
Do you know, you see kids checking dates now. Will you
Best
stop,
date
man?
before, and like if it's even if it's near the date, no, I'm not touching it.
I remember our old lady was gone away on holiday someplace, and Dowflo was making the lunches for us. And he'd be scraping the fucking blue mould off the cheese and off the bread. 100% to be fired in, you'd be gone. He put gammon in a sandwich another day because he'd no fucking ham. Uncooked gammon steak.
What?
Yeah, uncooked. I'd say we didn't know bananas were fucking white till we were about 12, because he used to make the sandwich the night before, and the fucking
Banana
things,
big on brown.
You'd hate to see how awful of making the lunch compared to the holiday.
Hey, didn't do an ounce of harm.
Look, signs are on me.
No, it's banana sandwich gone brown.
Black, fucking black. And bottles of milk. Like, when I see our kids going to school now on the lunch my missus just make for them, and they have their own special fucking drinks bottle and it's in the fridge cooling. We had milk, warm country milk, and then in an old TK lemonade bottle. And she'd have bushed it in, and the books would be covered in milk. The teacher had them out the radiator drying. The smell in the classroom.
Smell of milk as well.
Burns milk.
I used to go to school. I had a big, massive flask of fucking what you call oxtail soup.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gee, a big box of ham sandwiches and a packet of what are those biscuits? They were brown Bulville. is it?
Bourbons.
Bourbons.
Bourbons. Some head new for bourbon.
Don was packed for the week.
This is first class.
It's a small break. That was small break.
I used to think the
There he
person,
comes in with the shopping trolley.
oh, just a big pouring the soup, a big fucking flask like, a big pouring the soup, and you could smell it all over the classroom. Now, half the kids in the about to be drooling.
And then he'd take out a can of cider for them.
And a T-bone.
Cheers, we ate well when we were youngsters.
Right, come back now. We're gone. We'll go back to
Sorry, where were we?
building the pub, and you were stopped.
Oh, yeah. So the pub opened up, great success, and then COVID came and made a fucking cunt of it.
Yeah.
But if we go back to we'll fell our word on 5 or 6 years later. I met someone. I won't go naming the person or how I met them. And they were in a position to be able to tell me who put in the complaint. And the complaint was a man in his, I suppose, late 70s, early 80s,
Jeez.
who was just in the area as an angry, grumpy old man.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So I just kill him with kindness now every time I see him.
You never let him know.
Oh, I didn't. And he won't be listening to this anyways. The dead nurse is all he's listening to. He'll be on it soon, so don't let him not be worried.
Did he?
Would he come for a pint?
No, he would drink across the road. He wouldn't drink on my side of the road.
Jeez, that's desperate fucking now.
And does he know you know?
He doesn't, because he wouldn't listen to this. But I'm hoping there's bucks that do listen that go in and tell him, you were famous now, you were mentioned. Yeah. Now he's a grumpy old cunt. Yeah. Do you know, there's a lot of those negative type people. I don't bother with them. What I do is kill them with kindness.
Yeah, that's the only way to deal with them.
Oh, will you stop? Fuck's sake, life's too short for that shite.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
And we have a great little community. We had a massive weekend there last weekend. We closed the road, and the two pubs came together for James McNeve, a young man who passed away just before the truck run last year.
Did we same weekend?
Yeah. And they climbed 5 mountains. They raised 125,000. And there was bucks putting up bunting and tents and picking rubbish and closing roads. And it's the same handful of people that do the do-good work.
Yeah.
The tidy villages, tidying and putting out flowers. The cunts that sit back and give out, just ignore them.
Yeah.
Because they're no addition to any parish. Thrive on to fuck, keep the good ones going, and there's a lovely little community there. And you know when anything happens.
They're a right old country bunch up there, to be fair, all the lads.
Oh yeah, we're not as sophisticated as E-Bucks on Cork.
I don't know about that, no.
We were there. It's like a big family in one room.
But they're all sound, all the lads, and you just gel with them. Jeez, it's like just drinking like at home.
But that's the lovely thing about small villages. That's what I'd be afraid we'd lose when you start bringing in, I suppose, and changing towns and putting in iPass centres, and you want to keep a community together and keep the old crack going. Mind
Is there
everyone.
any of that up near you?
We're lucky not in our village, but Ballyhaunis is absolutely like Bradford.
Right.
It's sad to see. Now, they had the first one ever, I'd say 20 years ago, lads. The convent was turned into it. It says the first mosque in Ireland because halal meats. Rafiq had the factory, the meat factory.
That's closed now, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's Aghamore now.
Oh yes.
It's Aghamore now. But they had a very high population there of, I suppose, Syrians, Pakistanis at the start. They integrated very well into the town. But then when the asylum centre opened, it's totally different. But if you take this national school there, you would have 2 Irish children to 30 foreign children in the class.
Jesus.
Wow.
So it's a big, big difference. And even the pub, when I went to secondary school there was 3 nightclubs. There was Monsoon nightclub, there was Alberto's, which is up the steps, and Val's, or was Fire, what was it called? Billabong had a nightclub. So you had 3, and you had, I don't know, 10 or 12 pubs. Now you have just about 4 or 5 pubs.
In Ballyhaunis.
Yeah. See, again, the money doesn't go back into the community there.
No. Yeah.
Them bucks go to Little Aldi, drink their cans at home,
Sucking the
and
money
then
out
the
of the community.
Muslim community don't drink at all.
Yeah.
So it's very different. Not that it's all about drink, but I've been pushing for a long time that the pub isn't about drink.
No.
Social
It's
level.
about the crack.
Yeah.
I always say that during lockdown that it is not the drink we miss, it's the pub we miss.
It's the crack.
People in, do you know?
But there was a lot of elderly men, like it's their weekly
Oh, it
thing
is, yeah.
that they can't wait to go for the
Not,
pint.
not even elderly.
To
not
hear
even
the
elderly.
stories, to hear the chat, and to
I
get the news.
guarantee you 5 minutes walking into our place on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday evening, and there's the same few around, you'll be in stitches laughing within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
5 minutes, and that's what it's about. It's good for the soul.
Yeah. It's good to be out, meeting the lads, talking different stuff, and getting a bit of news as well, what's happening around.
And you do a bit of business in it and help someone out and borrowing and swapping stuff. I think it should be incentivised. Okay, we'll say take, drink, driving. That's the biggest thing that is
They should
fuck the
teach it
small
in
pub.
school.
Teach, drink, driving.
No, it's going to the pub. I
Show a
could,
school tour to the
I'd
pub
be a good teacher that now.
Yeah.
Take him down and a class down to the pub. This is how you do
every
it now.
Wednesday
Yeah.
after 3.
This is Ronnie's now. You don't go in the front door. You only go out the front door.
Yeah.
You go in the side door.
I walked in last Saturday. I came in the double door and 2 pints look behind me. No, Dan. Where the fuck? He doesn't smoke because he's not smoking. Next one in the back door. I say, what the fuck's wrong with you? I don't go in that door. I never go in that door. He goes in the back door of the pub.
And comes out the front door.
No, goes back out the back
He
door.
was a side door.
I'm going out the same way.
But
I
you've
came
never
in.
come in that door.
No,
John always likes the back door. Not a bother to him.
no, that's I never. If I mentioned the pub for the first time, never, ever, ever, I've got in the front door. Never, ever would.
Why?
Go in the side door. Just no. I don't.
Is that from your father? You said that before. Your
The father
father.
was there, and the father was the same. He never went in the. He never used that door. No, first of all, I 2 small doors. So it's,
Oh, well, that makes more sense now.
you have a little
Sorry.
bit of that as well going on.
Okay, all right.
No, the 2 will go up, open together. Now, if there's a race running, you get a tip, you would see me go through the door fairly quick.
You find sports right beside it.
Right across the road.
Right, we must get back again.
Where were we? Sorry.
You opened the pub at Christmas. Great crack.
COVID came then and made a fucking cunt of it. So we, at the start, there was all the different regulations. Hand sanitizer, 4 to a table, name, address, bookings only.
Sandwiches.
Yeah, we done all that,
Toasties.
right? So, no, first of all, it was blanket clothes. Sorry. Blanket clothes first.
What blanket clothes?
As in, everyone had to close, I think, at the start. Wasn't that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, blanket. Right.
And then we stayed closed and we had bills to pay and everything like that.
Not after making a bob, probably.
No.
No.
And She Beans opened up then every place. And they were flying. And then you were allowed open table service, the booking only, hand sanitizer and that. And we done that. And then they introduced food. And we had the takeaway menu and they'd deliver. And then it was outdoor only. So we built a fuck off outdoor area.
The fine outdoor, yeah.
And then it was outdoor with food. And then they said the food must be cooked on the premises, and I was goosed. There was nothing I could do. So I had the factory still open making the houses, and a friend of mine has a farm or a nursing agency, and he was bringing in these antigen tests, which were unheard of that time, right at the start of it. And he was testing his nurses, and he said, "You try these." So I got them for the factory, and we were testing the lads every Monday morning. You're clear, come in, and then every Friday we checked you again that you were going out clear. So we knew then it was only the weekend you'd catch it.
Yeah.
And it worked brilliant. Negative, positive cases, factory kept going. I said, why don't we introduce this to the pub? So I rang the vintners, who I was a member of at the time, told them, that's a great idea, go for it, and we'll support you. So I rang the solicitor, he said, there's actually no law against testing. You know, and this food is only... it wasn't a law, there was a word they had. It was it'll come to me in a second. So anyways, I put it out for the locals only, that you'd be appointment, come in, get tested, you're clear, you come in. Doesn't that make more sense now than having a fucking burger? So word spread, social media, Facebook went everywhere. It was all in the national media, and I rang the solicitor, he said, we better do some interviews. They were ringing all the different radio stations. So I went on our local one first, went sound, he rang me, changed 1 or 2 things, went on 1 or 2 others, then I went on Claire Byrne. Now Claire Byrne is as fucking slippy as the day is long, and she had an expert waiting in the background, a fucking doctor, to tell me all that was wrong with antigen testing. So I went on, done my piece thinking that was lovely, and she goes, I'd like to introduce Dr. such a one. Antigen testing is improving, antigen testing isn't this, that, the other. Now, my mate had told me he was tendering to supply these, that the government were going to roll them out. So I said, the government are going to roll these out. Now, he'd signed an NDA and asked me not to, and I didn't hang him out. And she said, what do you mean the government are going to posting them out? I said, they are. Where'd you get this information? Well, I can't disclose it. I never heard of such thing, this daftness, and made a fucking dick of me. So forget about that. Over to the pub that evening, a full set of appointments. Everyone is tested, one after, you know, like there's 15-minute slots, so there's not a queue. Came in, no one is positive, well spaced out, maybe 30 people in that pub that'll hold 180, right? Crack going, it was nice to be back. Even though we were spread out in tables, everyone was roaring across to each other, there was no telly. Maybe 2 hours into it, superintendent arrives in the door with 2 guards. So he said, he full blue, the hat on, I want evidence that you're serving food. We're not serving food. We're testing. You can't come in, first of all, because you're not tested. I don't give I can go anywhere I want.
I'm the law.
Out, you're not tested. So I want to talk to you outside. And he went into, you need to close, get food, go back tomorrow, get food. I said, this isn't about food. Food doesn't stop COVID. Testing does. This is the way forward. Listen to me, I'm telling you. Guidelines. Sorry, the guidelines said food. It wasn't the law. There were guidelines. So he said he went off making a call to the 2 guards. He sent them round to take everyone's name. So they said, look, this buck doesn't want to be here no more than the man in the moon. Calls came from Dublin. Go down and shut that fucker up fast before everyone else starts to copy this. So he came back, you have to close or I'll be arresting you. And I didn't think he would. And the solicitor said, under no grounds can he really arrest you. So
You didn't break a law.
no, but the superintendent is different than the normal guard, you see. Superpower. So he came back in, he said, it's your last chance. I said, sound as well. So he goes, I'm going to arrest you. You can say, or Anthony, you say will be held in evidence against you, blah, blah, blah. And he was writing this, Anthony, you want to say? And I said, yes, what? Mayo for Sam. And he had to write it down. So he goes, I said, I'll get my coat now and we go. No. He said, I have my car with me and the lads have only a Fiesta van. So we have to wait for the paddy wagon. I said, don't go bringing the fucking paddy wagon. And he said, there's nothing I can do. You're our responsibility now of arresting you. I said, I'll get the lads to drop me over. No. So I suppose 25 minutes later a paddy wagon arrives. Nice fella driving it. I go out, jump into the back of it.
It was a Renault Master, man.
Ford Transit. And we're not a kilometre down the road. I have the phone out, Snapchat to the bucks in the back of the fucking paddy wagon. Next thing, out, open the door. Have you phoned you? Yeah. Did anyone search you? No. Like it wasn't as if I committed a murder. Up again the van, belt, phone, wallet, keys, the whole lot. So we get over to the guard station and the guards were lovely. You know, brought me in, put me into a waiting room, wait for your solicitor. Solicitor arrived, and the tone started to change. Now, I'd been on the phone to this man 10 times that day. We had chatted through my plan, and he had said, I've spoken to your wife and she's very concerned. Now, my wife would never have known him, never spoke to him, but he played the trump cards straight away.
He spoke to your wife.
Yeah, he said, I rang your wife, she's very concerned.
You don't want to bring a mammy into Anton.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like that, Pat Short.
No, John Kenny.
So the superintendent came back in and he said, the solicitor was in the chair like this looking, I was where Don was. And he leans back like this and he said, are you charging him? He said, we are. So superintendent fucked off. And he said, that's the end of America now for you. You won't be going to America and you need to shut the fuck up doing radio interviews. We'll be in court tomorrow morning. You'll plead guilty. You get a small poor box fine. That'll be the end of this. So I said, fuck all. Your man came back in. The printer is broken. We're going to come and charge you tomorrow. And I didn't think of anything at that time. I thought maybe genuinely it was. It's late at night. So no spake the whole way home. Got home. Big fucking bushed up then. You donkey got arrested. Made a cunt of yourself. You knew it was going to happen. I didn't know it was going to happen. I said all that. But his Snapchat had pictures of me in a prison uniform. Of course, the books had it leaked. It was everywhere. Everywhere. Irish Independent had it. Mayo Publican arrested. It was massive stuff. So the next morning, I turned off the phone. The office had to take the phone at the hook. Every newspaper in the country, every radio station in the country, ring, ring, ring. So I fucked off out to Clare Island. And great, nice and quiet out there. Had the day to unwind. Good friends out there. Came back. Everything was sound. As you said, I put my head down, shut the fuck up. That was, what the fuck month was that? That was November, December. January, the end of January, the government announces they're posting out free antigen testing to everyone's house, and it's the best thing since sliced bread. Fuck's sake. Now, you want to see the shit I got online during this, like, fucking my wife is a nurse and she's putting her life in the line and your bollocks and about and all this fucking shite. So, went back on the local radio. He rang me and he said, do you feel vindicated? Now, at the time, there was a school in Clamars, which wasn't fair for me, and the principal had to close the school because the COVID outbreak was that much, and the government went off the head that he closed the school without their permission. So they were arresting me for testing people, and they were falling out with him for closing a school that had a high percentage of COVID.
So it's like anyone trying to prevent COVID.
Anyone
Was getting in trouble.
correct? Yeah, but we're the only ones allowed in. But you know what? If we
But if
give
you ordered a shipper,
you were sound. Like when you think about this now, lads, it was
Mad.
fucking
I was in talking a few weeks ago. It won't be some gobshites.
gobshites. The
Gobshites.
finest, and injecting ourselves with shite in it.
Yeah.
I got the fucking. Do you get it?
I did just to
Get going. I was the same to get going.
But you were just fucking told.
I had
If
to,
you don't
yeah.
get injections, you won't be able to go in. You'll have to stay at home. We're going to lash.
But sure, you weren't allowed anywhere.
I couldn't. I was working all abroad then. I couldn't get into countries.
Yeah, it's fucking.
All I was traveling different countries. I had to get it.
Don't waste the fucking time.
And tell me, did you try get on Clareburn since?
So after that, I had someone up there who told her obviously sent, look, Byrne was right. Now the government are pushing it out. No way would she bring me on.
No
Not
way.
a fucking chance.
Why would she?
Why? Because she's pushing out the one fucking narrative the government are always pushing out.
Yeah.
So it fizzled
Why
out.
would you bother?
And I thought that was the end of it, right? And a year later, summons came in the post that I was being charged for breach of COVID regulations. So I rang my new solicitor and he said, look, don't be a hero, don't be a warrior.
Do it at all. Lie down.
Plead guilty, small poor box fine. I said, I haven't a fucking notion. They posted these tests out fucking 2.5 months after I got arrested and you're telling me to plead guilty. Will you fuck right off? So you're always fucking on a mission and you're always giving out. So I said, I was listening to...
And he's your new solicitor.
We're good old buddies. But
Oh, right.
this was his... Now, I rang 2 other solicitors in the county after him. All the same advice.
Poor box job.
Just plead guilty. It'll be over with. Just
Lie down and take it. Like.
take your small fine and it'll be over. So I was listening to the West Cork murder. Sophie Descant Plantier in Bailey.
It's a brilliant,
Buckler, is it?
Excellent podcast.
brilliant podcast.
And that's the one now where the English couple interview Ian Bailey every week.
Yeah.
But Jules, his partner, had said everyone just wants him to plead guilty, and she found this solicitor called Frank Buttimer. And Frank Buttimer took the case on, and they went on to have great success. But anyways, I said, fuck this, I'm ringing Frank Buttimer. So Googled the fucking number, rang the office, told the lady the story, she said, Frank will ring you. That evening around fucking 9 or 10 o'clock, Frank rings this mobile number. And I said, Frank, how are you keeping on? Explain my story. He said, I've already read about it in the papers. You're a header. I said, I need you to come up and represent me. He said, I have never been to Mayo. I haven't a fucking notion. I'm too busy. Well, I said, somebody has to help me. Recommend. He said, I'll send you 2 names. Pick one of them. Sent me 2 names. I had a barrister friend in Dublin. I sent him the 2. He said, Michael Staines is the man. So Michael Staines represented Shawnee Fitzgerald, banker, Conor
flat out this
McGregor.
week.
Yes. Now, he's only solicitor, so he'd have barrister, senior counsel for that. But he's the man instructing them.
Yeah.
So went to the office. You had to pay to go. He sat with a paralegal. She took all your information. He'd then read it and he'd ring you back if he was taking it. So they rang me to say, come up. Sat in front of him. He said, now when you go in, like he's a Dublin jersey on the wall, massive into GA, big tall man, fully dressed in black with like a black hat, like the Amish community you'd have.
Solicitor.
Yeah, all serious, as in there's no bullshit. He'd tell you, straight out. So he said, why are you here? So I started my story. Why are you here? I said, what do you mean, why am I here? Why are you here? Well, I said, because I'm innocent. That's enough. Away we go. So anyways, we went to the court and his nephew Rory came down to Mayo. But the minute he arrived, you could tell the difference in the courtroom because they're all friends like us, the solicitors.
Yeah.
Right? They all sit around the table. They all know each other. It's the same shite every week. Bullshit. But there's a new fella in town now. So it's, ooh.
Fuck.
So the judge said to him when he stood up, welcome down from Dublin, Mr. Staines. Straight away, like as if, he was at the stations. And he said, we're going for disclosure. We want all the information for the guards. So she gave the guards 6 weeks to have it all. 6 weeks later, nothing. Week 7, I'm on holidays and Michael Staines rings. He said, we've given them an extra week. We're going to get it struck out next week. This is over. The fucking day of the court, all these boxes of shite land.
Oh, Jesus.
So he says to me, there's enough fucking stuff and this is a murder trial. So
Boxes of things again,
Box.
like files against you.
every time I had ever said anything on the fucking papers, the radio, the internet, everyone that's in the pub, pictures of the pub, fucking,
Imagine the waste of money.
waste
and
of
time for this.
waste of money.
Ridiculous.
Gardaí, like, time. Jesus Christ.
Now, again, it's not the Gardaí's fault. It's the DPP that makes the decision. And they would also be directed then from the state, the government.
Yeah.
It's just to say, COVID was this way. No one can do anything outside the rules. So the court date was set, and it was like this special day for COVID cases. So if you went outside the 5 kilometre limit, you had a house party, you had fucking any of that shite. The courtroom was just filled with that.
Taking your back hall
Yes.
in your boiler house.
Don, we know you're home. So, Michael himself was down. We had practiced. We had all our witnesses ready. And, like, when you were watching what was going on inside, it was bullshit. Like, Bucks plead guilty for going outside the 5 kilometres, fine, this type of shite. So, he had been in and out. And he said, would you apologise if it came down to that? And that be the end of it. I said, of course I would. I don't give a fuck. You know, if for
Would you apologise for what?
wasting the Gardaí's time.
Fuck off.
So, which, look,
But you didn't ask them to come out.
I understand that. And it was in we went, and the case was called, super stood up, case withdrawn. Michael Stain stands up. Mr. Byrne would like to apologise to the guards for wasting their time. He understands they had a job to do. He had a point to prove. That was the end of it.
High proven.
And there was journalists in the room from the Irish Independent, looked her straight in the eye. There was radio people in the room. Nothing was on media. Nothing. Now, I hadn't the social media following I have now. So I walked out the door and that was the end of it. We went in the beer. But not heard of. Not to this day. If you Google my name, public and arrested is all that comes up.
Yeah.
It doesn't say case thrown out or the man who had the idea the government copied. It just...
And it should because
It should.
you told them and then...
For
yeah.
my children even.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't it be fucking nice in years to come when they do Google my name that they don't think Dad was a fucking header that got arrested? And God forbid I ever did pass away before I got chance to their adults tell them the real story.
Yeah.
Somebody else would have to tell them or a podcast would.
We'll send them this.
That sound. But it's fucking
Make sure
country.
to like and subscribe first and then we'll send them a hat.
The internet, and I said this before, sorry for repeating myself, is written in ink, not in pencil. So that's there, like,
Yeah.
and it's there forever. Yeah. And it would be nice if it was set straight, but it is what it is.
But I'd say even to prove your pint, it cost you a fortune.
It did cost a fortune, but I'd have remortgaged the fucking house if I had to, because I believe in standing up for what's right.
Yeah, and you're dead right.
And if you, like one of the suppliers said to me afterwards, he said, you take on hell with a bucket of water, but if you are right and you've done nothing wrong, like, can you believe that there is paedophiles living in my area, right, that haven't been arrested, that the guards haven't called to, even though they were attending children's masses? And why aren't they tagged and named and shamed? The law is on the wrong side of everything.
Yep.
All the fucking time.
Is that fella still down there?
Still down, but no, the fella that I played fuck about with the bishop is gone a parish over, and he's now attending mass 3 parishes over because there was somebody at a mass who saw him. But why is it that the law isn't following that country around?
Yeah.
Why is it Paddy Nally had to shoot the tinker? Why is it Tommy Joe Duffy in my village had to blow the window out the tinker's van? Why is it they took the gun off Paddy Nally, took the gun off Tommy McLaughlin? Why is the law fucking ace? Like?
Yeah. That Paddy Nally, he died, didn't he? Last
He
year.
did. I was at the funeral.
Last year, wasn't it?
This year.
Was it this year?
And I was awful disappointed with the turnout.
Go away.
It was only about, I'd say, 50 people in the church. I expected the county mayor to show up in appreciation for what he did because he got the law changed.
Yeah.
You're now allowed to defend your home with reasonable force.
Yeah.
But what happened, that man was wrong. He was being tortured by them. And my other neighbour, Tommy Joe Duffy, he was the same. They had robbed him 2 or 3 times.
See what you're after saying there now. I didn't know he got the law changed, but if I Google his name, he come up man shot.
Correct.
Intruder.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's it.
Legend.
Yeah.
He done
Yeah.
nothing wrong.
I didn't know that. I didn't know I got the law
Like,
changed. Did you know that?
we're so soft. We're so soft.
Yeah. It is.
No, sorry, the law was changed because of what he did. Not him canvassing to change the law.
Right.
But
Yeah.
enough people came behind him to change it.
Money.
What's that sheriff that's often on TikTok? Something county. Like telling people, just tell you, if you come to our county, you go to somebody's house, be prepared to be shot. Do you know?
I have no problem with that.
Yeah, simple as that, like.
No problem with that. Look, lads, the ordinary man that's paying his taxes and doing the right fucking thing seems to be getting constantly up the hole here.
Yeah.
Like, you're not been thanked at all, but the useless fucking arsehole that's signed on the dole that's never worked a day in his life, and all these Range Rovers and BMWs that come home every Christmas to fucking Moyross and all these fucking places, where is cab? Where is the revenue? Where is the guards? Now, I understand the guards are only enforcing the law they're given, but the law is fucking...
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
know well what's
The
going on.
justice system as well is.
The only one that wins is the solicitor.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
You know that.
Oh, yeah, but look, the day, if you can stay away from it, the better. And to be honest, I think communities should be taking the law back into their own hands.
Yeah. Listen, there's something about a biker group starting up now again, the immigrants. I heard this last
In Ireland?
Yeah, in Dublin. And they're going to take, this is what they said, we're taking the law back in their own hands.
Should even look at.
But
I said not in England this week
Yeah.
with the guns and the machetes.
Oh yeah, what was that at? Some festival or some?
What it was? But like they were going around fucking slicing each other with machetes, and then some lads got out guns and started shooting at each other.
That has to be the pikies.
No, the iPad centres.
No, sorry, the cousins.
Oh, is that what you called them?
What
Yeah.
do you call it? I got that name off you.
Oh, the cousins.
The cousins.
Yeah, no, that was at a.
Another modernised peoples.
Was it at some?
It was at some sort of gathering they had.
Like, if you think about it, right, years ago, pedo in an area, van pulls up, gang of bucks like us pull him in and bait the shite out room, cut the fucking Mickey off him. I don't see anything wrong with that. How he's allowed to move back into an area and no one knows that he's there unless he's known. If you take where we're on about working in Rhode Island, them bucks were able to show me there's a map published in their area showing every paedophile his address, his name, a picture of him where he lives. And he has to sign on. I don't know why we're hiding them and protecting them.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're fucking doing that shit, like that's.
They don't deserve to be out society.
No, but
don't.
it should be up to the fucking boys in the village to take care of it.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
the same thing if there's a cunt robbing
But
or
that,
even
that would
dealing
have happened
drugs.
years ago. And there was never any of this shit years ago.
It needs to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not asking for the whole thing to go vigilante, but just a bit of fucking law and order.
And not kill him either. Good scutching.
What's
Yeah.
scutching?
Yeah.
Good fucking thump.
Scutching.
Good scutching.
Sounds like a dog's after having a shite scrape.
No, they're
He's
worms.
scutching.
Well, leave him like that.
there
Leave
is-
him like a dog going around with worms.
There is some fucked up lads out there. Like the guards don't do anything about it. But even I was listening to Nicola Talent there today, where two guards, one fella was after signing his colleague up on this fetish site.
Oh, jeez.
I heard that podcast.
That was
Madness,
crazy.
isn't it? Did you hear it?
That's absolutely
He
crazy.
put her up on a fetish site where she wanted to be consensually raped.
Jeez.
So he put her address up, everything. Put up the routes where she goes jogging every day.
Yeah.
And she was organising with a lad to come to consensually rape her.
And she didn't know about it.
She knew nothing, sure, your man. Her
And this-
colleague.
a
who was
guard.
she's a guard, he's a guard. And he's a family friend that would be in the house, good friends with her kids and
Absolutely
everything.
Madness. That's crazy. That's evil.
There's a lot of fucked up people. Look, the online, we're on the positive side of online. Do you know what we're doing is a bit of crack. We're, trying to help promote charities, truck runs, different stuff. We're not gone into the real hardcore of it. But the other side of online is sick stuff, like,
Oh.
Yeah.
and it needs regulating because fuck me.
How do you regulate? Because it's
That's
so
true.
open and it's not policed at all.
Yeah, but if you've been a paedophile, you should never be allowed to line again.
No, 100%.
Do you,
You
I
should
know
get- yeah.
a girl that's she was in the guards and she got promoted. Now did this promotion, as another guard was saying to me, he wouldn't wish in his worst nightmare. She goes through videos and videos,
no, I
of
couldn't do
videos
it. Couldn't do
to
it.
watch anything out the window, a building, wallpaper, design, anything at all that can link. But having to really have to watch and study for little things to.
But you see, Mullingar,
investigate, like.
the last 2 weeks there was two near child abductions
Seen
by
that.
Romanian gangs.
Yeah.
Like, for fuck's sake.
Did one lad walk free today? Some brown man. I seen a picture of it. Man walks free from court, and here he is smiling going out the door, and he tried to abduct a child a fortnight ago.
Stop, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he was in jail up until today, and was released this morning, no charge. And there's lads in prison there for what?
Yeah.
Drink driving a car and probably killing someone, and they didn't intentionally mean to. But there's lads doing a couple of years for the likes of that.
There's on two series, too hard now. It's Friday evening, lads. We'll have to bring this back here. Bring this back here. Bring it back here.
Actually talking about lads getting done for big time for silly things. Noel,
I
a
was
bit of
Noel.
fertiliser. He got fucking 3 years.
That's
I was in with him last Saturday.
How is he?
Flying it.
Where did you visit him? Where is he in
Limerick.
prison? So what's it like to go in?
It's different to Portlaoise.
Hey, we stood out like sore thumbs.
Why?
Well, there one happened to see that.
To be honest, she looked like constantly in prison.
No, well, do you know what it was? It was actually a bit sad as well, because there was young kids coming in.
See their dads and
Yeah.
And we we no kids. Just sitting there. And this place filled with kids.
Like they were kind of sad and stuff too. I don't know.
But your one opened this shutter and she's giving out colouring books and stuff for the kids.
Yeah.
And she said to me, she goes, "Do you want tea?" And I said, "No, I'm grand." She goes,
She didn't offer you a colouring book. John said, "This is my young book here."
I was half looking at it. Look, I coloured that. No,
Have you one with a truck on it?
I did that at the full pipe truck show with the Ducks young girl. No,
Man.
I had it on my own shed in the dampness after getting rid of all the colour.
I heard you
was
saying that on
fucking
Cody's one.
ticket, yeah.
So go back, wait a second now, because you said it's different to Portlaoise. Why have you been in Portlaoise prison?
Yeah.
Why?
My cousin was up there a few years back.
"Remember the time you visited me as well?"
That's right. You wouldn't be going there again?
You weren't in fucking prison.
I had done 3 months.
Shut up to fuck. For what?
Robbed a push bike.
But you shut up. Go back to seriousness now. Right, so how long did you get?
Half an hour.
And is there glass between you?
No, not in Limerick.
So
no.
you could have brought him in the baggie and stuff.
No, you couldn't, because the
Hey.
searching is unreal going.
And
Ah,
you
but
know
geez,
what?
they'd want a big fucking AI gloved cavity search you cunt.
You wouldn't. Some searching.
Huh?
Oh, some swabbing and everything. Because we weren't told
If they'd a blue light, they all the pound the
to
trousers.
avoid even handling cash that morning.
The comments get the showers off them.
The dog smelled them.
We don't know what's on it, but you're not bringing it in. There's a big stain there in your leg.
Go on, sorry, John. I went off track there.
Wanking into his
And then
pocket.
and a bang of liquor off the two of us going in at 10 o'clock in the morning. But they give you some swabbing down. You go through one scanner, then you go in, you take your belt, your boots, the whole lot into a scanner. Then you go through the metal detector.
Like the airport.
Yeah, and then he'll pat you down and turn around, pat you all down, the whole lot. Then turn around and he'll swab you here, there,
Stick a finger
everywhere.
up your hole.
And you're going on until he sticks that yoke in to see
Leave that patch
that
on.
comes up.
And you get a table then, like 4 chairs or whatever. Is it?
Just like sitting here. It was actually closer. We were closer to him.
And how is he?
Flying it.
Aye.
Like, he's such a blackguard, lad, right? You know what he did? He's the boys now coming in the morning. He was telling Joe, the buddies above, like, Jesus, here for the crack, boys. Shave my head. So he shaved his head. And 2 big
Handlebars.
The handlebars.
The
He looked like
thickest-
Chopper Reed.
The thickest bars I've ever seen. He walks in with a hole in the Bible.
He looked like some lunatic.
And he goes, "I'm going to start to say a few prayers." He couldn't hold it together and he burst his whole laugh.
Ah, Jesus.
So he's holding him together well, it's doing him well, like.
He's absolutely flying, and there's going to be some podcast he comes out.
So it has done him good.
He's got the highest job in there.
And
He can't get a better job. He's a receptionist.
yeah. Because
Receptionist to what? Like, hello, welcome, you have a 2-bedroom ready for you tonight. Would you like room service? A fucking receptionist to what?
He's handing out the keys for every room. That's your 221, 222. Booking
no,
them in,
Joe, when you come in,
payments.
you have your stuff. See, when you go in first, you do your jeans, your t-shirt, your runners.
Oh,
they
yeah.
take all them, everything you have, and you're given the tracksuit, I think. So that's in for a few days. You get settled. Then he's doing that. He's processed it. This is stuff is brought to such and such cell number, prison number. Well, obviously you can't have your keys. You don't want your keys, and you don't need them. Your wallet, all that stays.
Okay.
So, your shoes, your runners, your trainers, and you can't have detergent.
So he's
You
the
can only go-
Andy Dufresne of Limerick Prison.
So he put all that for that prison. He sets all that in. But his gaslight, Noel is always go, and he's a busy
He's a
man.
worker. He's a working man, like.
We're fair busy, he says. We're 20 leaving, he says, the weekend.
Yeah, no, tomorrow. We've 20 lads heading to Cork tomorrow. And I looked at him, like 20 load of AF4 he's on about.
Don't mention Bagmanure, don't mention Bagmanure.
I'm busy tomorrow. He said, we've 20 lads out here tomorrow.
Yeah. So he was scooping. He was he spends very less time in. He's out all day, like, kind of, you know.
So he's busy.
And because when prison officers have someone like that, and he's low threat, there's a name on it, and he basically can.
Exceptional or something.
Yeah, there's a name on it, but he's one of them, and he's a very low threat. And they all get on.
Because I was listening to the 2 Johnnies podcast with the 2 prison officers. There's the 3 prison
That was
officers.
good, wasn't
Man out
it?
with the joy.
Yeah.
But they were saying how they get to know everyone and they know, whether they're dodgy or not dodgy, and how they help them and go through school and
What was that lad's name? Was he the Jai for 30 years or more?
Who?
The prison officer. Oh no, they're workers, sorry.
yes.
I'm thinking
No,
of-
they weren't criminals,
One
like they
of
were
them was the
prison
governor.
officers.
There was a
Did
governor
you,
in it.
did
yeah.
you listen to Willa White? Do you know Willa White?
No.
The Dublin fella, comedian. He does podcasts, and they had the chief,
Governor.
the head lad over Mount Jai for over 30 years. No, was it? Yeah, 35 years he done.
Well-
and he's retired now, and he come on and the
Class.
stories.
Well, I'll tell you one
brilliant.
story. There's a great friend of mine who won't name him. He's a prison officer. He's retired now. But he was in Mountjoy way back in the day when shit was bad.
Probably with this fella.
And he said they used to be slopping out, throwing piss and shit in them. But anyways, they took an awful lot of shite from this fella one day and they fucking flaked him. So anyways, your man put in a complaint to the fucking governor straight away that they bet the shite out of him. So the governor had to write out a report. They brought your man in, the prisoner was there. They bet me, they said this, they fucking hammered me, blah, blah, blah. And he wrote it all down and the governor read it back to him. He said, is that what happened? Yeah. Well, he says, I'm going to fax that straight off now to the DPP. So he went over to the shredder and he went, zzz, your man goes, Chase, thank you very much, sir.
I'd say he was the prison officer in there when that lad was there, what I'm on about. And the stories about that the slop, he says they use them as weapons. Because when the disease was going around.
Oh, HIV or whatever,
HIV,
AIDS.
Yeah.
Which I think feces is fucking...
But the prison officers couldn't come near them because they haul up the piss pot. Come on. And they throw it at them. Your man said he spent
You couldn't be paid enough for that crack.
He said he had spent 3 months away from his kids because he thought
He had HIV.
Yeah.
Go back, so when is Nolly out?
Oh, no, I'd say, look, he's out maybe 12 months he might get into an open prison. Now, the judge was awfully strong on that day. He shouldn't have got that at all.
Had he bad legal representation?
No, he's very good. Very good.
He letters from employers and everything like that.
Yeah.
He was walking that morning. He was sending me snaps that morning. He was up
Yeah.
driving the lorry. And he says, I'm heading in here now and brought the bag with him. He knew he was getting something. But
Yeah, that's the solicitor, which he'd be from my town, told him that there was a bit of an impact statement and it was a bit exaggerated.
From who? The man who won the bag in your?
No, the truck. It was a bit exaggerated, I think. No, so it was, but and no one was telling me that the lad Charlie nudged him. He said, "Fuck you, lad." He said, "You know." And then when he was younger as well, he robbed a Garda hat out of the fucking Garda car was in the town clearing out pubs. Noel was outside in the street doing donuts, and he went over to the Garda, took the hat and then started directing traffic and stuff. And he pure sober. This when he was fucking 17, 18.
Like they brought it up.
That came up as well, and lad just nudged him. He said,
Great crime, and we let the pedos out.
Yeah.
And lock Nolly up.
Yeah,
Charlie
exactly.
says to will be bring the overnight bags.
Well, I'm delighted that he's getting on well because do you know I used to enjoy the crack with him.
Yeah.
And
Well, he said
look,
a few things was.
He made a fuck up and he had missed you.
Yeah,
Like, you know.
come here, and I'll be talking to him, and he, if we have time, he'd love a letter. He'd love a letter.
I've actually a couple
You're
of times
asking the
now
wrong
sent
cunt
it
to
on
write
to
a
me.
letter. I'd send a WhatsApp voice message, but he probably hasn't the phone. You might translate it. Christy Brown a better handwriting than me now.
I'm the same. And I said, "Do you know, like no time?" He goes, "Lad, they're like gold. To get a little way of something." He said, "I actually have to make an effort and do something now."
You should
and
send him in a
it
pair of
on,
underpants, John.
I said, what do we put
You
on
could use them as curtains.
me Don curtains.
No, that's a new one. They're mine Cuddy's boxer, John's curtains.
That's what you should release. A pair of boxers, me Don curtains.
This is a business model there straight away.
Get the air vents in them for the old drivers.
Tell you
jack.
We'll get on to Jen to have them for Tipperary.
They'll be like a styrofolding attic stairs that'll just open down and the lad will come out. As seen on the Late Late Show, Don's curtains.
The flu coming out. Stairs.
My DC runners, Don Cochons.
Don't croissants.
Me Don curtain box. Oh, jeez.
But,
No, but he said a couple of things was there. He says he'll never, ever be in a prison again. He said, I'll never. He says, my car's a week out of tax. I won't take it out of the yard.
Yeah.
He says, I'm not. He says,
But isn't it great to see the system work there, right?
Yeah.
Even though we knew he probably would never have been in again if he wasn't put in anyways.
Yeah.
But when you hear the amount on that podcast through Johnny's that reoffended come back in, you know, they're in, it's just a week.
Even for the healthcare and that's where they go back.
But there's one lad walked in by us to see his father.
And come off the drugs and everything.
One prisoner came in by me, and he looked like an old soft Egypt. You'd be like, what is that lad after doing that? He's in here. No, I said, imagine he was driving down the road, boys had a few pints at the pub. His friend was out the window, he flew out the car and he died. Got 13 months. Yeah. He didn't mean to do that. Yeah. Like, we all are.
Yeah.
We all had the crack like
when
that.
we were in junior cert, we were brought in a tour to Castlereagh Prison. And the governor told us how easy it was for one of us to end up in prison.
Yeah.
So he said, we were used to go to the N17 nightclub as teenagers. It was known for fighting outside. You come out, a fella pushes you, you punch him. He falls back, hits his head to the curb, you're done for manslaughter and you're in here.
Yeah.
So it is awful fucking simple.
Yeah.
but it should be looked at totally differently.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, the different cases, they should be more put aside and actually stop and listen, or do just like colleges or something and say, like, geez, if there's anyone qualified at all, would say this man is wasted inside here. It shouldn't. No, it should not be there.
But for example, sure, he was working and trying to pay his way back. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It's not as if he was in the road scratching his
Look,
fucking hole, robbing people.
And he was pressured. He was pressured to do something. And
yeah.
so silly.
Yeah, he was saying
So
that.
silly. Like,
Anyways,
listening to it,
I'm glad to hear he's going well. I must
But-
try and fucking do an outlet there for the crack.
But when
Get
he came out
something
with
typed up.
the bald head, the eyebrows and everything gone. Again, he just shaved everything and just
Sure,
left
he
this.
couldn't give a fucking there.
No,
Who's going
No,
to
but
see him?
he lost him the last time he went to Mayo for €50 an eyebrow.
He had.
With what you call it? Which truck run he went down up?
It
to?
wasn't our one.
No,
No.
it was the one over further.
Young lad.
Chambers.
Kyle.
Chambers ran
Okay.
it. And he went in. He had a big head of hair on him, and he shaved the hair for charity. Then someone said, 50 an eyebrow. No, but walk away.
As no the kids.
Two.
And they go in and out to see him.
No.
No.
Okay.
And then said, Sunday night, I think they can do a Skype for
Okay.
6 minutes.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Again, yeah. I don't think it's a place to go and take him in there. I just.
A memory they won't forget.
They're
you
young
don't
as
want
well.
it,
And sure, they'll be out
I
at
can
that
still
age.
remember Castlereagh and our junior cert. It wasn't fun now.
Yeah.
No.
No, it opened my eyes down the last Saturday, and even this week alone, he was telling us one lad was there, crashed a lorry and killed someone in the car. Oh no, it was a book up the country last week, got sentenced. He got a good spell, and I was driving the lorry this week a couple of times, and I was stuck behind someone. I've seen a chance to outbuy it, and I pulled myself back, like, you know what? I could
And
end up-
zipped it up again. No
I
more
c-
wanking
I
while
could
you're
end up-
driving.
Yeah.
And that dogging as well, you're going to stop that because you're going to get caught with that crack too. Oh, yeah.
But you know-
Back at the white fucking 5 Series and the window down, the big shiny head out.
But no, it did make me think a bit different now, happening in it. I know what you're saying. It wasn't nice, but it was nice
Good
to see him.
education, though.
Yeah. Very simple.
education,
End up there. Very simple. As you said, a row. And I was a whore 5 years ago. Always.
Oh, I believe it.
I was convinced that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Years ago, Stephen.
But you're looking at the head of him like a fucking bulldog
didn't
chewing
fight.
a wasp.
Years
You
ago.
fight with him. Why wouldn't you
Hey.
fight with him?
You thought that was bad last weekend?
The two of you stop. People like sumo fucking wrestlers now. Don't go starting. The day of Rocky Balboa here is well fucking gone.
No, I'm sound now. A few pints. Go home, chips.
Chips.
That's usually where the row starts in the chipper.
Yeah, it used to be always.
Chase Luigi's
If
up
we
there.
had before we went out, we were better off.
Yeah. Chase, John, remember Luigi's? They were putting a pane of glass in
Yeah.
every Monday morning. The full front of the chipper was winter.
And you think they'd have put fucking bears in it or gone for double glaze?
Or they would have got about. Or,
Fuck's sake, like, yeah.
well, would have had to throw your man again harder. I'd be in Limerick now if I had double glass.
There you go again, always a solution.
Yeah.
Do you ever have much trouble in Eileen's?
No, thanks be to God. It's not that type of pub. It's not that type of village. Like last week was the busiest weekend we ever had in the village between the two pubs. The road closed. There wasn't one row. You tend to find that the locals are watching and minding. If there's a stranger that's in sacked in the bollocks, he's put out fairly fast. We've a deal that whoever's bared my side is bared the other side or the other way around.
Really?
So there's no
And-
business up there.
Huh?
They'll have no business
No,
up in the area.
because there is 4 or 5 Amadons. Look, no matter where you go, never pack a bollocks. There's always
every
one
time.
to get there.
Yeah.
Every time.
But there was a man that was bared from both pubs and he was golfing with a crowd. They tried to get me to get him back in maybe before Christmas, and they said he's a changed man. Last week in Kilkelly up the road, massive row. He planted a woman, he planted a man.
Oh.
So leopard doesn't change his spots usually when he's drinking. And we want laughing, crack, singing. I don't mind a buck that falls asleep. We have no interest in fighting and we have no interest in drugs. And we want to keep our community that way, and fucking that's the way to have it.
Just that night we done up there, I had a great crack that night. Was it the second night? Was the big night? What was
The
big-
truck run was the big night.
Yeah. I remember there was chip van outside, and I was out drinking all day. So I was fucked. Up to the bedroom upside, and bag of chips up, and me opened the window. I was looking out everyone's smoking area, and a row did start, and there was a lad pucking. So I was like, "What?" Eating chips, and
And
on
there
the
you
bed
had,
then.
you had the ketchup in the belly button,
Yeah,
dipping
yeah.
them in, yeah. And that was lovely, yeah. Yeah. She took a few of the chips and won't say what she did with them. There was a battered sausage too, which is northern. Yeah.
No, but what is the next? Is there anything big coming up in Islands?
Hi, before you go in here, do we talk about the big fucking news of the school?
Oh, yes, that's my next
Huh?
big project. And that I'm awful...
That's something brilliant.
Sorry, where am I going?
He's not there anyway, John.
Oh, the bottle in the way.
Oh, you're on.
Oh, no, come over this way a bit.
I don't want to be in it. I'm here to talk, not to be looked at.
This is
This is
serious-
like years ago, them hotlines where you ring in 88224. Hello, if you want to talk dirty about farming, just call in there. I'll open another button for a dinner.
Did you ever hear that when the fella he rang in? He said, "Hello, you're through to." I know. Can you just move over to the left? The wife's on the way home. I can't find the remote control. But hey, this is a serious project.
Yeah, look, school wasn't for me.
Oh, no, hi, I'm your brother, man.
And if you talk to David Cuddy, if you talk to Alan Clark, if you talk to Jason from HCR Podcast, a lot of us have the same story. And there very much is a one-size-fits-all in this country. This is the educational system. If you don't like it, fucking tough shit, we've LCA there or we've the youth reach. Like, if you go back to Ireland fucking 50 years ago, there was the tech. So-
Yeah.
and I remember-
I was in tech school.
Westy, who's my farm manager, telling me they had a Beetle engine and they used to take it apart and they'd have a competition so you could put it back together fast. But the next group that was coming, he said they'd hide a few bolts. So he said they'd win. And he can take apart any machine in my yard and put it back together, from a harvester to a mower to a tractor, change a clutch, do anything. And he has no interest in reading or writing, right?
Yeah. I fucking.
What I want to do is go back to that basics, right? So when I have apprentices, right, in BRB homes for plumbing, electrical, carpentry and steel fabrication. And usually when kids come in on transition year, on work experience, we'd have handpicked the cream of the crop, come back for the summer work. After summer, they come back to Easter, the next summer, and they're the men for the apprenticeship, right? The book that rings you the week after his leaving cert results, I'm looking for apprenticeship, that is the wrong candidate. He's doing that or she's doing that because they wiped their whole of it, they didn't like it, that's sound. You need to get these kids when they're finished their junior cert.
Yeah.
Right. Our idea is, never mind transition year, come in. 12 students is all there is the first year because it has to be small, all right? And on Monday, you'll have a motivational speaker. So, for example, it could be Cody. We'll just take him as an example, all right? And he'll tell them his story, didn't like school, what he did, where he is now, so on and so forth. And it could be, fucking men. There's so many entrepreneurs throughout the country, Jimmy McGee, Athlone Extrusions, all these men, okay? Sean Brett, Steel Tech, if you heard his podcast, same thing. Hated school, dyslexic, learned he was that way. Multimillionaire now. So, at the second half of the day, in will come, we'll say the main man from the ESB in Mayo, teach them about wiring the plug, basics. Maybe the following week it could be 3D modelling, 3D printer, right? So then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday they go to work. And for the first year, they taste all the trades. So they'll do 3 weeks with us in carpentry, 3 weeks plumbing, 3 weeks wiring, 3 weeks in bar and catering, 3 weeks 3D modelling, so on and so forth.
So this is transition year.
It's
Instead
what
of
we're
doing
doing is,
transition-
instead of doing transition year, that's year one with us
Yeah.
in the trade school, year one, okay? So Friday, they're back in. They're going to give us 5 minutes on how your week went. What did you learn? Well, I was with Frank Harrington this week now and I was on plant and machinery and we fixed a dumper or I was driving a digger or I learned this or I done that or whatever. And then for the second half of Friday, there's a massive catering company next door. You go in and you learn how to make a meal. So I learned how to make spaghetti bolognese this week, right? So then into the first year, I fucking loved carpentry. That sound?
Yeah, reminisce back. What did you really like?
Exactly.
I love going down with your man doing the plant machinery. I love making timber products with that lad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you specialise then in that one thing. So year two then is, I'm going to be a carpenter. So you go with BRB Homes or wherever it is, and you do your 2 or 3 years, depending on how slow or fast you can learn. Now, there's no books, okay? There's no exams. There's practicals. So the first week, we're going to teach you how, we have a lady, fair play to her, from Tullamore, who specialised in further adult education and admin. She's going to teach you how to read a payslip, how to set up a bank account, how to apply for a loan.
Fucking brilliant.
Basics.
Brilliant.
But things you need to learn in life.
Brilliant.
We have a driving instructor who's going to help you apply for your theory test, help you study for your theory test. And the theory test fucks so many young people because it is difficult. It's a memory test for people that are dyslexic, people that are autistic. It's not for them. All right. And then you're going to have art of conversation is a class in itself. So 12 people, you've sit beside a different person every time you go back in. You're going to address people properly. How are you getting on? My name is Donal. Lovely to meet you. Hand out, eye contact. And because an awful lot of young people are learning not to talk because of this fucking thing. As much as this is great.
No, I can't.
No, I
Or
can't.
do you ever get the wake handshake?
Oh,
Or it's cuntish.
Oh, jeez, straight away.
What do you mean the
it
way?
fuck-
Just they drop their hand in.
out there, like,
Sort of like holding a
a
flaccid
wet fish
penis
or-
type thing, yeah.
Handshake should be good and fun.
What you shake my hand now? Like what you?
Oh, fucking, I catch
No,
my
but what
hand.
are you saying? A wake handshake? You
That's
do the
wake,
way.
that's wake. You catch
Oh,
your- catch
I will
your
just
hand.
grab your tip of your finger. Like,
Yeah.
oh shit.
I just do all hand up with like water.
But there's basics, right? I'll tell you a quick story that reminded me of. What is that book at over there?
Smell off his hand.
V8.
I thought he was going to say Linda.
No wonder he's late up to pull in the labour in Nens Heaven.
He loves fishing on Fridays. No,
Like your man that was working for you. He loved it 2 or 3 days a week. Right, go back again because I like this conversation.
Oh, this is brilliant.
so what I did was I put it on Instagram, and this is where social media is brilliant. And I said, lads, I'm talking about this for long enough. I want to do it. People who were interested messaged me, and in came the outpour. So we had to weed through the fucking parents, put all them to one side, weed through the business people, people who wanted to help, called a public meeting, and it was the best meeting I was ever at.
Go away. Brilliant.
I left the room like a man that was fucking high because everyone goes, I agree, it's a joke, Solis is dated. You know, they're going off studying fucking carpentry, learn how to make windows and doors. No cunt makes a window and door. They come out to a factory. If you want to specialise in that, go off and do it. Yeah. They're 4 years in fucking Solis. They go off to college for 6 months. They come back. All they're interested in is drinking and sleeping. They've lost the fucking taste for it. So the room was all in agreement. I hated school. I was dyslexic. I fucking don't believe in reading and writing. You know, and we all agreed that the one subject that had to come out was wiring because it's too complicated, rectal certification. But we did agree that, and Frank Harrington said in the room, his best mechanic never done his apprenticeship.
Oh, yeah.
He can take apart an engine top to bottom.
That's everywhere.
And do you need the piece of paper? And every employer in the room said, I couldn't give a fuck what the CV says. He'll come in for a week, I'll know.
Yeah.
If this fella can hang a door, do an engine.
And if he can get the work out.
So we all
piece of
agreed
paper.
that if we get them people and mind them, and we teach them other bits along the way, you know, and life skills, that it'll make such a fucking difference. So let's go back to who's come since, right? So we had our second meeting. We found the classroom, which is the old courthouse. We had the catering company that are willing to teach the meals. The aviation company in Knock Airport contacted us today. They break planes. Now,
Today at the contact.
So they're a company started 3 or 4 years ago. They're to the right of Knock Airport. They're building a massive new warehouse. Planes come in, they break them, take the engines off them, the whole lot. They're willing to do a tour. They're willing to take on work experience. Now, isn't that some fucking opportunity for a 16-year-old?
So what would that need, like an aircraft mechanic?
I can't say what. I suppose you would be. But again, they're not looking for the piece of paper, and they're willing to give young people a chance. And if you take Jason, HCR, like when I went up there the last day, he had 2 twin cams, Porsche, an Evo, all been there restored. For a young person to get the chance to go in there and fucking do 3 weeks with him.
Yeah.
Like, school doesn't give you that.
No.
And all it is your whole life to 2 or 3 weeks of an exam, a memory test.
And you'd learn something there. He's ridiculous.
Oh, but these are the things I'm on about. Like, it's fucking, you take kids and put them into that. And instead of pushing them through 3 years where they hate going to school and fighting with them to go to school and then fighting with teachers and fighting with everyone, maybe because they've learned disability, maybe because they just don't want to be there. Instead, you're taking them out. Every Monday, they're listening to somebody telling you a story how they fucking hated school and how they're doing well in life. They're fucking out learning a new trade. And even if they don't, would say all the trades, they've got to taste it. They've got life skills out of them, mate.
And do you organise the trades for them to go to?
Yes. So all the companies have put up their hand and said, we want in, we want in, we want in, right?
Brilliant.
So we have like a rota, and there's obviously, for your first 3 weeks, you're here. For your second 3 weeks, you're there.
Yeah.
There's a bus stop outside the classroom, 14 buses a day. So it's very...
Is it all local in your area?
It is for everybody, but it's going to be very hard from someone for Tullamore at 16 to make. But
have people contact you from far away?
we're going to be making an awful lot of people upset. The CV, or sorry, it wouldn't be CV. The application quality so far is very high. I'll give an example of a lad who has applied. He didn't know I know he's applied yet because the girls in the office are dealing with it. He's in the area. He has a tractor lawnmower and a trailer, and he's been around doing gardens for the last 2 fucking years. He's a little number plate on it. I'm delighted he applied. That's the candidate.
Yeah.
He's a
Initiative.
grafter.
A grafter.
A bit of initiative. Like,
And he's a true born entrepreneur. You can't fucking teach
Hey.
that.
Who springs to mind?
Tommy
Timber.
Tommy Timber.
Yeah.
No, Tommy Timber.
He went TikTok. I don't have TikTok.
Yeah.
But, great young fella. What a young fella.
Down
Great.
there.
Nah,
Well,
he
he's down in Care.
snaps there. He's mad into timber. Mad at Cuddy's end of stuff. But he's going to push more and the hedge trimmers.
Yeah.
And,
I know. I think
he's at
He's a log
He's at
splitter
buying a car.
and-
He's a little Ford tractor home, splitting the logs, selling car
cutting.
trailers.
Yeah.
Lads, isn't he going to be no drain on society?
He's no dad.
We were actually. Do you want that on the group there one night, and he put out and just where his house is and next door like they've a bit of land, and he was saying, "Geez, John, I don't know." He says, "You build a house here and put the driveway into the left of the house." That's a young fellow thinking. And I had a stack of timber here now and at my shed. He says, "He's young.
He's making a
Imagine,
living.
imagine that for thinking, by
He's making a living off selling the timber. Little small cars are going with a little Ford
It's going with
tractor.
kindling or just logs.
Yeah,
and
but he's logs
But
in the back
he
of the
has
Ford.
get up and go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
He's
he
not
does.
then looking at a fucking screen or a PlayStation and blowing his out in his basement. You know, this is what we want.
His cogs are turning. I know by looking at him. He's worked with Aircom.
They manage apprentices.
Good man. And am I saying anything that you disagree with?
No, he's thinking, he's like, why didn't I think of this? I know.
What we want is if this works year one, that it's rolled out across the country. But I'm concerned that if we don't make these and mind them, we're going to have a nation of fucking snowflakes that cannot do nothing.
Yeah, we already do.
Yeah.
We already do.
Would you have one in a province, or what way would you look
That's
at it?
ideally you would. And you know what? If it took off, you'd have 2 or 3 in a province.
Yeah.
Because if this all came from, I was in America in a place called Saratoga, and they were trying to get us to open a factory, and she was there. Oh, this is a great state. We'll give you a warehouse. We'll give you this per every employee, but we have a trade school where you can get the employees, and went down to the trade school. So they have 2 schools side by side, your secondary school and your trade school. Everybody has to go to the trade school for the first 3 years for the first half of the day. And like when you went in, cars up and lifts, diagnostics, dumpers, diggers, they had a hot press on the go. I was just blown away. So then in the 3rd year, you make the decision on going all academia. But I've learned the basics. I can wire a plug, hang a shelf, change a tap. I can change the oil in my car. Or no, fuck it, I love mechanics and going down there. And that's what you want. So if you ask me in 10 years, I would love a fuck off school in our county, in every county. When you drive in, you see the diggers, you see the dumpers, you see the cars on the lifts, you see all this. And that's where we'll teach them. Not, at secondary school now, they hadn't a great leaving cert, sure you might do an apprenticeship. It's the wrong way of looking at it. And we've no one to blame, bear the government. Because in came the pharmaceuticals, the multinationals, the Dells, the Intels,
Took the young lads.
and we
big money.
created a conveyor and just spat them out to it. Do this course in college, you'll get in there.
Yeah.
Spit. Think of the
Aye,
debt.
You didn't have to do a course. They were just taking young lads, go up there, get your PPE, stand round. If someone asks you to do something, tell them you're not qualified to do it. You get over €1,000 a week. It happened in Edenderry because Intel was so close. Remember, every young lad in Edenderry had a job and they were pulling serious money. But do you think they had hands wide their arse?
But and this is the thing, right? And
Did
these
nothing.
people can't get a house because we have a housing shortage because we haven't people
But
to
they're all
build
out
them.
of work now and they're all home. There's no money. Yeah.
And they're no good for anyone.
No, they're shit.
No good to anything else.
They've no trade, they've no qualification, and they're half in hand.
You
to
will
fuck off.
travel the world with a trade, even a truck driver.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. It's
We
so-
need to go into it, and that's why we've plant and machinery in it, because people snub at plant and machinery. We're going nowhere without truck drivers. We're going nowhere without
plant.
tractor drivers.
Would you do a course for the?
The trucks isn't on it, but plant and machinery is, because usually what you find is,
Get all your tickets.
yes, you'll usually have your dump truck driver becomes your truck driver.
Yeah.
Or your tractor trailer driver becomes your truck.
Because the little pink, it's the pink paper is gone now. The pink card, it's some valuable tool.
Oh, serious.
Some valuable tool. I don't think I was very bad at school. Very bad. I have foundation, maths, English, Irish. Very bad. Love metalwork. Loved it and good at it. Loved woodwork. really good. Really, I got on so with those teachers, but the rest of it just I had no interest. But if I had interest, I could do
Could you
it.
imagine if your day was just metalwork, woodwork, and all them things?
Fucking-
Wouldn't you have loved going to school?
Oh, jeez, I'd have made a fortune.
Yeah, but
So
and
you
that's what we should foster is that.
Yeah. But I'm a pure example. I went into secondary school because John went secondary school and my two sisters went secondary school.
Yeah, you have to go because they went.
So I was in that uniform.
You were
Went to
keeping up
school.
with the
Had you any
Kardashians.
metalwork or woodwork?
None.
No, in our
Didn't
school,
you?
no.
The
I
tech
was-
up the road had
Take up
it.
the road, yeah.
They only had metalwork. There was no woodwork. And the year I done my leaving cert, woodwork was brought into my school, built on, and I had a woodwork room. And I spent half my time up looking in the window at the boys. I was like,
You do living? You're leaving.
yeah, I done my leaving
Did
cert.
you?
I done LCA.
Did you do a living,
play,
sir?
Yeah, yeah.
I done
Did you do a
LCA.
living?
I did, yeah.
But I
Do a
done
living, John.
But I didn't want to do my leaving. But my dad is a primary school teacher, and look,
You had to.
everyone. When you said you were going, I swear to God, everyone nearly had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to be there, and Mom made. I want. They should put me to transition year, and I didn't want to be there.
But
And they actually, the teachers brought the mother in and said that I think Don is at the stage he'd be more to go for apprenticeship.
Or a can of cider.
Do you know? And
But you see how it was thrown out like school isn't for look, just let him do an apprenticeship.
but no, to be fair, I think no, in a good way. I think in a good way.
Huh?
That the apprenticeship is a bad thing.
But that's the way they look at it.
Yeah.
It's like
no, I-
take the run to the litters out here now. And
But I do think now, to be fair, that it was. I do think he did in a good way. That he knew by me. He was actually. I liked the teacher.
But I have a trade I'd have picked you out for. And it's something, again, that if our school got big enough, I'd like to put into it. A butcher. You have a massive passion for meat. You know an awful lot about meat. Your mixes and rubs. That's what I would have thought you should be. But could you imagine if that was in the course? Would you have gone for something like that?
I don't know. Well, I did mechanicking. I did 2 years mechanicking, and I was good mechanic. But once I went to Foss College,
That was it. Intrashcon.
There's me.
But
like-
once we got down into the floor, down below, and there was
Yeah.
engines up and stands and stuff,
Yeah.
you watch me go. I was fucking into it, and I did a apprenticeship with a fucking absolute, what a fucking gentleman, Tony Byrne, and he's one of the head mechanics still in Toyota in Kanturk. He is some mechanic.
Yeah.
I trained with him. He trained me everything. That very neat, tidy.
Is he still going?
Oh, he is. He's still,
Yeah.
still number one by inside. We were in a different garage that time. It was actually a Citroen garage, but I was able to. I was actually so good. I was doing a timing belt in the Pajero in the fucking 90 minutes. Boom, boom, bang him out, lad. A good now. And there was Citroen Zara. You take an engine mount off to get the fucking time belt.
Yeah.
And
A
then,
lot of cars have that, but
once I went to,
I'm a pure example of that now. I said I was sent to secondary, not I was sent. It was just followed the fucking litter. I went secondary, and the timber work came in when I was leaving. I was raging. Went then, paid for a job. You have to get a trade. I done LCA, and I gone well LCA, and I loved it because the teacher for practical stuff, the teacher for interviews, you were on about the way people talk. I was taught how to have an interview in there because they're teaching it for the real world. LCA should be pushed on a lot more than what it is, because a lot of people look at like, what the fuck, like you said to us, loose chippings ahead.
And it was wrong because leaving certified.
oh, right,
But
okay.
an awful lot of the lads in LCA were, it was sort of nearly, they shouldn't be in the same school, first of all, because it was looked down upon.
They were just shoved in there.
It was wrong.
I had I have dyslexia as well. I was confirmed I had dyslexia, I was diagnosed with it. I was exempt from all languages, and I taught in first, second, third year. I was sitting out for the language classes. I was just like, I don't deserve to go do my leaving cert. That's what I felt. And I went and done LCA, and I loved it. And we actually, they gave us you to be an entrepreneur, like make money.
Yes.
And we done a car wash in the school. Teacher's car wash.
A wet t-shirt competition. I could see
No,
you there
the
on the white,
teach-
all right.
But the teachers gave us the keys of their car,
Fair play.
right? What do we do?
Of course, you took knickers out of the boot
The
and
only-
the changing bags and everything.
The only African teacher was in the school.
What'd you do?
In little Mazda, and up to
You
the
still had it.
Mr. Buffon.
Yeah?
Had
You
little
two
black
was
Mazda and
red one.
reverse rings up in the top of the car park. Well, we got stung. Had to fucking I don't know how we weren't kicked out of the school. Up in the principal out looking at us. Back in, whole car wash, all money made, gone. But that was leaving her play then. But I went to Kilsaran as a plant fitter. Said I'd give it a shot. I didn't know anything about plant fitting. But what you're saying, you get to see what you want to do. I'd done plan fitting. And I was like, fucking like this. And I went doing car mechanic. Went to Nissan in Liffey Valley. Done 2 year there. And liked it. Got on fierce well in it.
You look well in the micro.
But no, I did like the mechanic, and I got on, and I got to me phase 6. Failed 2 exams in me phase 6. One was theory, and one was body electrics. I never went back. I done my whole apprenticeship.
But you know that always still is there if you want to at any stage.
Oh yeah, I can go back, but $2,000 will get me back.
Yeah, but why should it come down to an exam? When
I
you
know,
put
yeah.
him on front of the fucking engine,
Yeah,
you could
yeah,
do it.
yeah.
But as I was
This-
saying,
this-
my classroom,
This is the thing.
classroom for the theory was up high. We used to walk down and say, put me down on the floor. Remember doing engine distortion tests. I'm going to take the block off, check it for distortion, ball angles, take her pistons out, bang, bang, me hands, I was deadly at. But you put me up in the classroom.
Yeah.
I was in Letterkenny for phase 3, and we spent 80% of the time in the classroom, in a port cabin on stilts, down the end of the workshop. The heat up there, and we're just sitting looking at a projector.
Yeah, ready to fall asleep.
Writing notes. I'd show you the book at home with the notes.
But why is it that way, right? Why is it? And everyone, I done a radio interview on Monday, and afterwards I was back in the car, and the comments were coming in, and it was 99% unbelievable. One person said that man is giving the wrong advice to encourage anyone to leave school without leaving cert. Why? Why is it that this is the system? Why is it that to be a mechanic you have to do this writing part? Why?
No, well, my mother told me. My ma said to me after me leaving cert, I should have took you out with junior cert to do your trade.
But
Yeah.
I and she's a hunt. That's what I want.
She said that to
There's
me.
certain people and this day and age, teachers as well. Like I do think
They
that
cop onto
teacher
it. They cop on.
was good. He was looking out for me.
Yeah.
He knew I was better off doing some more.
But
on my
no
hands.
more than the guards. The teachers have to do what's put in front of them.
Yeah.
And in the room the night we had the public meeting, there was a shitload of teachers, secondary school teachers, and there was lecturers. And one teacher gave a great fucking speak. He said, "There's books in my class, and they may as well take the leaving cert, roll it up, and smoke it." And he was there because he said, "I believe in what you're doing. I'm here, willing to help."
Yeah.
This is what, and do you know what he was saying? I didn't realise this. They're trying to get rid of the practical out of metalwork and woodwork because they reckon it's too dangerous.
Oh, gee,
Another red flag, like.
But that's going to be a red flag in you then.
But
You will have
not,
to cross.
no, I don't have to comply because I'm not taking the government's money. This
Oh,
we're not.
yeah,
We're
yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
set. No, we'll be regulated and we'll be safe.
And tell me, Joe, a student that you would have that does, how long is the course?
With 3 years.
3 years. And what can you give him? Can you give him a
No,
certificate?
it'll be our own cert. At the moment, we're not
will
a
it-
member of any government body, and the room voted that they don't care. All right, but if we feel that it comes down to it, you can join, certification processes. But it's all about this.
But, Joe, you'll give them a certificate?
Yes.
Right. Have you approached anyone, say, abroad to see will they recognise this as...
No, you have to
investment.
join one of those organisations.
Do you
like
have to?
FETAC or something like that. You
And
have
do
to.
it- do what they say.
But do you have to? Can you actually go
No,
to...
but see, us as the employers feel we don't care about it.
But,
right,
but,
if-
but can you go to other the other countries and say big companies and get to know them, get to talk to them, and say this is what we are doing. If we have someone that wants to go to America,
Oh, I'm sure you could, and none of them are going to turn. Look, if I'm down as a reference on a CV and I get a call, and someone says, "Tell me what's Don like," I'll say genuinely, he's a fucking mighty bit of stuff. You're as well leave that book at home. He's a waste of time. So it's on our reputation as is federal in education that I'm going to say he's a super mechanic, or look, to be honest, he wasn't hectic. He didn't finish. You have to be straight because it's your brand, it's your association. All right, and it's going to come down to that.
yeah. But I think anyone that's going to go, Chi,
Would he go to the John Sisk of America and say,
that's
"We
yeah.
recognise this"? Like, keep it in house.
That, well,
Within your industry.
that's totally up to John Sisk, and it depends how snobbery they are in education. I think.
I think they're all very open-minded these days. Because
Well, that's what you'd hope.
Do you know
and
that?
I think if I'm taking on anybody as a welder, and I said this, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, I don't care about the piece of paper and their CV.
Once
Give him the oil or the overalls and let him do the day.
Yeah.
I know within 20 minutes
Yeah.
this book is shit hot.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, so I don't care what has come through his past. Let's take it, it's Nolly comes out, right? I don't care if Nolly was in Limerick. Nolly's a good welder. That's all I want. He's on time. He's a nice lad. He gets on with everyone.
Aye, but you didn't 2 or 3 lads send in word through us to tell Noel he comes out, job there.
And that's what you. But
Because they know what he
you
is.
know, look, there's fucking truck drivers coming in from Africa.
No, he's
and
never going to drive
else.
it. He's never going to drive a truck again, he reckons.
What?
And what's he going to
Yeah,
do?
he says that.
That's what he said. He goes, "I'll
He'd
never
rather
drive
come
a
back on with us there, driving machinery, loading shovel.
Okay, well, yeah, but sure.
Yeah, but you
He'll
know
get
what-
itchy. He'll get itchy.
But
though.
you know, Noel is he would drive a machine. He,
He's a great loader driver.
yeah, he go out and do a bit of concrete. Doing the concrete, your man doing the sheds.
Yeah.
Would you bring in licenses into it then?
As in truck licenses.
Like even like for say to get your provisional license, your full license.
But that's
then-
in it. So we have a driving instructor on board to get your provisional and help you get your license.
Yeah.
So that's there because what we want is we want the young person to be independent.
Yeah.
It isn't just about getting that trade. It's getting them the life skills to fucking be able to go and do their thing. I want to give you an example, right? A nephew of mine, I hope he doesn't mind me telling this, all right? So it'll be my wife's sister's child. He came, thank you, working with us on the farm a few years ago. He came working by in the pub. He was a real trier, right?
Yeah.
And we were out for dinner a few months ago, and I'm building a house for a fella who was plant in England. And he has John Deere tractors, and he's a harvester, and they feed a biomass plant, and he's does civils and everything. And he said, does he send all the John Deeres back out every summer to do this, to do the harvest? He does. Would you ask him for a job? Now, he's only, fourth year, so he's 17. And I said, I will, of course. Now, I'd say his parents at the table, or well, his mother anyways, had thought, this won't happen, I won't have anything to worry about. So I rang your man the next day, straight out. I'm building a house for him. I said, Stephen, are you going out doing the harvest? Yeah. I've the nephew. He's a good, steady lad. He's been driving a tractor and tanker, putting out slurry. Would you give him the start? Sound. So it was coming time to go, and he was going to be gone for the full summer, never left home. And he would have never changed the bed, done any of these things. So he'd got his bed clothes and all the stuff organised, and they took off in a convoy of tractors and onto the boat and over. And he had his suitcase with him and got going, and was chatting to your man, how's he getting on? Sound his bell. So I was chatting to his father, and he said, whatever place he was staying in another book's bed, and he took off your man's sheets and put on his own. He washed the sheets and hung them out, and he was going, when he was leaving, he'd put your man's back on, and he was cooking his own dinner. And they moved from Cambridge up to Leeds, and he had to drive the tractor and the trailer through Leeds, and he had his suitcase in the back of the silage trailer. And I was thinking, fuck me.
That's some
Great
experience.
experience.
For a 17-year-old lad.
Great experience.
And I messaged him and I said, fair fucks you, lad, I'm proud of you. Because there's a load more of them hanging around doing fuck all, only talking shite all summer.
Yeah.
And he'll come back to school
And they hate it.
and he will hit it. And there'll be a hunger there
Yeah.
to drive on. And he made good money for his summer.
Yeah.
But what a life experience.
Yeah.
And that's what you want, is out to fuck with these young
Yeah.
bucks. And let them go to England for a summer. Let them go to fucking, I don't care where it is. But he was able to drive the tractor, and it's amazing with a bit of tractor driving skills.
Yeah.
Could his podcast with the $2 in America?
Oh, Cabbage and Tucker.
Oh, yeah.
Tucker's on your area.
He's supposed to come on.
I would love to fucking do that.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that we encourage young people
Yeah.
to fucking go.
That's one thing I'm raging. Never went and done a harvest. Now I'm still young enough too. I think it's 35 or 36 got to Australia.
I'd say you're not fit to mow the lawn and mind the fucking harvest.
I'd fucking show you a thing or two now and tractor.
My buddy there, he works with us there, Saucy. Every year he went out to, he went to work from, is it Carolina down or somewhere? And he was with that outfit, if you Google, I can't even, all the fins have the American flag in them.
Yeah.
They're black fins with the American flag in them.
Class.
Ah, fucking some job.
Remember, lad, I worked for Declan.
They walk
Davis.
right down the coast.
Lad, I worked doing the mill Pete for since fucking first year, second year. Every summer, same thing, booked all summer, had money. I remember he was paying me a check, give it to the mother, she put it in my credit union. I had a couple of grand in the summer, she didn't know what to do with it, buy a laptop. Had to spend it.
Start wanking in the bedroom then.
But
I didn't wonder he got a woman. And then he got the brothers to join Telecom to get fibre into.
John, you may do something about this. It's very slow.
Don't interrupt me when I'm cleaning my room.
She's taking off her brand and stopped. Now I'm raging. Get a job with Aircom. But no, I remember he telling me he went over when he was younger, Declan, and he says he often done a straight line for 6 to 8 hours with it in a combine. Like there was a row of 8 combines, and he said, do it. He said, just
be something
go
real.
and do it. He said, if you needed a piss, radio over to the boys in the Jeep, take you off, put a lad on, you piss.
But wouldn't it
he'd
be
jump off
nice?
the combine. You don't stop.
You even had that in fourth year in the school, or our school when time comes, that is set up for you that summer. Like, because the education and the life of that is brilliant.
Yeah.
It is a fair play to it. It's a fucking.
You learn life skills.
Oh, fuck it.
As you said, your man was washing the bed sheet. He was thrown in the deep end. He'd no choice.
His mother near fell down.
He'd no choice.
And I hope she near fell down because this book was minded. She runs some house and he never had to.
Yeah.
He didn't have to change.
But when he had to,
But
was
it's
able.
important he does that. I just fucking loved it, and I was so delighted to work out this summer. I thought it was fucking brilliant for him.
We send Jack off for that.
100%. And like, I let Jack off. You've seen the WhatsApp that actually bringing in the bales of hay, and he drives the buggy. I'm trying to encourage him. You know, I'm not pushing him too much. He still was on some video game with his cousin last week. Everything in moderation.
Farms him.
But even make the fucking toast and butter it himself and pack his bag and get his shit together and open his curtains and dress his bed. We can't fucking mollycoddle them too much.
That's a brilliant balance the way you have there with the farm and everything. That's great. That's such education.
Opportunity, like there's a lot of opportunity there, and he's lucky to have a father like it because you can give him
You
the
and
opportunity.
harden them up.
But that's harden them up.
Yeah.
Like this week now, we had the vet out and he had to cut the back of the couch, get the calf out. And Jack was coming and going, getting ropes and water. And he knows now how it works.
Gee, that's.
And isn't that better than me sitting
age
down
is that?
having the sex education chat with him?
Yeah.
And he sees the bull rising up. He's a fair fucking idea what's going on.
Run.
Yeah.
I done that with C-section before one time. I just held the tail, but I seen everything going on, and I was like,
But
"That is
it's a brilliant
amazing.
education.
Isn't it?"
That's
I'll never forget the vet at the top slit. He had the shirt off, no gloves, nothing.
The old style.
No blade in his mouth, and he'd cold blood in his mouth. All Ireland was on the car outside, and in with the two hands and lifted the calf out.
One of the favourite programmes we watch on YouTube. So when I put them to bed, right, if it's my turn, we take a turn every second night. I don't read a book because I fucking hate it. All right? But I'll take out YouTube. So we watch James Herriot, which was the vet, right? And we watch The Outdoor Boys, which is a YouTube channel. A fella in America with the kids. Now, what he does with them is unfucking believable.
Oh, the blondie fella.
Yeah.
He's finished. He stopped.
He stopped
Yeah.
because he's gone too big. But Jesus Christ, man, what he's done with them children is
Yeah.
unfucking believable.
Yeah.
But that's what we'd watch. And if you see James Herriot, and we have seen every type of shit on that, they're intrigued watching it. So we're not watching Pokemon. We're watching something that's fucking educational.
Realistic.
Exactly.
Education.
He's actually a solicitor, him, is he?
He is.
Yeah,
And he's now packed it in because himself and his wife and kids, they've over 4 million followers. They can go no place, they're haunted.
Yeah.
I'll go away.
I actually know the reason I know he's solicitor because he made a fire starter out of a shirt, and he says, "I don't need my shirts anymore. Don't study law anymore." That's his.
Sure, they were making. Did you see the place he bought in the middle of nowhere, in Alaska? And they bought this sort of. There was cabins out way out. He built a road out, trucks tipping in stone. He got a mini digger. He got the snow machines, the quad bikes, and it was fucking brilliant to see what he built out there.
No, that's realistic education. That's
Really, but this is what we'd love to go back to. Like, I would absolutely fucking love if I had enough money that we were full-time farmers and give Jack 2 years on the farm before he'd,
even go do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know the one thing I don't like about it?
about what?
Your whole idea with this school.
Yes.
I can't do it.
But no, what you need to know is go and have kids and bring them into it.
Get jealous of them.
If there was anything that we could do to help, I'd love to.
Well, I appreciate that.
you
Look,
know that?
what we want is we want companies that are willing to come on board to say, look, we are mechanics or we're plant and machinery. We're willing to take a boy or a girl for 6 weeks to let them have a taste of it, and we're willing to sign them up for the 2 or 3 years after that. Look, I don't have a company, but I'd like to donate €500 towards it. That's sound. This is all ran off donations, and the children have to pay €166 a month, but they get paid a salary every single week of €300 to €400, depending
who's
on
paying
the
that?
The employers. So, for example, BRB is going to sponsor 3. So we need 12 companies, we need 12 sponsors. But those people are benefiting that hopefully one of them might do their trade with me.
Right.
And if not, they don't.
Okay, so you like say BRB puts in for 3, but you don't know which 3. It's just you
Correct.
sponsor 3
Sponsor
random
3.
people.
But
and then
they will
go
get a
around
pay slip every
everywhere.
week from BRB Homes.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So it could be John there, it could be someone down the road.
Correct.
Whoever comes in.
And this is the idea is it's a co-op, right? So what am I benefiting from it? you have to think outside the box. We're all going to benefit long term.
Yeah, long term.
And that's it. I'm willing to fire in. If you ask a company for a massive check, you're not going to get it. But when it's 300 a week, it's not bad.
Yeah. It's right now, tax.
And they're going to have
like
a student every week. You know, for the 6-week cycle, they will have a new one.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they're making change. All I'm asking for people is to think outside the box. This is our chance. If we get this right, we are going to change the educational system in this country for once and for all. And if God put me down on earth for no other reason, and you can say, oh, for housing and for family, it's this.
But
It's to give young people a fucking fighting chance that they're not in the same rat race as everyone else.
But are you prepared? This is going to kick off big time. You
I'm
realise
100%
this, like,
prepared. That's what I want.
this is going to go. This is going to go nationwide. Like, this is a
And
serious.
that's what I want. I would love to be
This might go
known
bigger
as
than
an
cowboy
old
dust.
man visiting
Right,
his
it is.
Fagerlin
I reckon it'll go
schools
bigger than the
throughout
cowboy
Ireland.
dust.
This suits so many people.
But wouldn't it be fucking lovely to have
Yeah,
a
well,
Fagerlin school in every county? Or
It
two
will.
in every county?
It is. We'll be doing another podcast about
And that's what I
about
hope.
this. It will, guaranteed. This is.
And my favourite hobby is proving pricks wrong. And I will do everything in my
knows
power
that?
to make fucking sure we make this work.
The man that'll take on hell with a bucket of water.
Hey, that's the name of this podcast.
The other podcast we have it there now. Well, I tell you one thing. It's especially some that I wish if that was there for me. That,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
no, there. That's the biggest problem. I wish I fucking could go to.
No, listen to you there when you were
Yeah.
preaching it. I was like, why the fuck was that not around? when I was
Yeah.
going?
Fuck it. This suits.
But even this that's on the table, lads, right? Isn't that a class piece of work?
Yeah.
That truck.
Yeah.
And when we're on about 3D model, that's a skill in itself. Just even the fellow who made them, I don't know who he is. It'd be lovely for him to come up for a day to see how it's made.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just there's so many different
You can
bits.
see it at the back of it there, like.
He's the Susie bar and everything.
Yeah.
And that's when I go into a hotel room, a pub, Anthony, I'm looking at chasing that class, how they make it, how they do it. Even the day I was in the back of the paddy wagon on the way to the Cashel Bear, there was no seatbelt in the back of the paddy wagon. It's a steel box, and there's a glass screen, and there's another book the other side. And I was thinking, if this cunt of a thing turns over, I'll be killed. I wonder, could we invent a seatbelt we could sell to the paddy wagon people? Check.
Did you ever get across the line?
No, I didn't.
Fucking, you and him are very similar.
It's
I've seen that lad going into places when he was young. Now, fuck, how the fuck, yeah.
And that's an entrepreneurial brain.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Like
just,
he's-
we're wired different. We're wired. And I'd say if you did try and diagnose me, along with all the entrepreneurs I've met, I haven't been, I'd say I've ADHD. I'd say
Yeah,
I have all these,
Yeah,
I am
we got-
dyslexic. We're, you know,
Guaranteed we're labelled with
but
everything.
there's fuck all of us that owe anyone, Anthony. We're all work like fucking slaves,
God,
and we're all great crack.
And we can all count money.
Hey, the foxy one.
Yeah, we can all count fucking money. One thing. I might be able to spell it, but I tell you what, they'll count it.
And if you take, right, we're all on social media now. I've had a great experience for the social media side of things. I'm not on TikTok. I don't have an awful lot of abuse, right? But we can build that community again with this. Even the podcast. Any of these podcasts are starting up. You love to support them. They're brilliant. Love to listen to them. Love to share them.
Yeah.
You could have the same, a sound bunch that all they want to do is to achieve something good. We're not out to go slating anyone. We're not out to go fucking join in the campaign for fucking this, that and the other.
Yeah.
Is pulled together as a fucking sound group on social media.
And we have a great, all our following are fucking great bunch.
Yeah.
And what listening to this too, and they'll realise, you know, this is out there.
Yeah.
It'd be great from.
As I said, I'm going to say it again. I'm just fucking raging, Matt. Back.
Yeah.
The wheel evens are back. And
Oh,
doing it.
gee, I love that was my back my day.
Yeah. But I said it.
They wouldn't. But be prepared. Be prepared, Don. You'll be busy with this.
I was
This,
back.
this is going to take off, like.
I was back here a few weeks ago. Emma's young fella graduated 6th year. And I was in the secondary where I was. And they've woodwork, they've metalwork, they've everything now. Big, massive extensions done. And I was chatting to the principal. He was one of my teachers, Principal Gordon MacDonald, sound fella. And I just said to him, I says, we were deprived. And he agreed.
But
he
we were.
He goes, yeah, you were.
Even think of the canteens they have now and
Yeah.
all that kipper.
Yeah,
no
we
canteen
fucking
when I was
They had no black fucking banana
Canteen when
sandwiches.
you were there.
no canteen when I was there, no.
Well, you stop. Imagine if there was them $2, you wouldn't get them in here now.
Hey, we give
Fucking bail carrier dropping them off.
we be giving your one in cooking
Put
the
them up on
food.
the high side.
Tell your one cooking the food. Slip in a can of cider there for the lunch. Will you?
Here, you got a man in trouble, lads. I got a text message or a WhatsApp there. I'll have to message. The mouse. The mouse is a good old friend of mine. And on a Friday evening, I had to try and meet him for a pint. But he must have said, he's not on Instagram. I'm going down to meet Donal. And I get this message. not sure who you're going to meet for a drink, but Donal is doing a podcast with Tom Cowboy. He said, my excuse for meeting you caught up with me. I said, I'm going to announce this in the podcast. She said, stop, I need to join Instagram.
So he's supposed to be in Eileen's mid.
Poor old mouse is blowing. Eileen's and now he's in bother for telling lies.
Bags outside the front door.
I'll tell you one fucking quick one. One of our first Christmas parties in Belmullet as the company. And there was only maybe fucking 8 or 9 of us in the company at that time. But we had a right fucking drink. So woke up the next morning, straight down to the residence bar at 10 o'clock in Belmullet, Broadhaven, out with Kansas either. We're going strong. The brother was driving home. We stopped to my local Tommy Ryan's at the time. Yellow Spot whiskey, pints. I was twisted. But she was gone for dinner to the parents and Jack was only small. So I got home at 3 o'clock upside down. She wasn't home. Delighted, jumped into bed. Now, the next morning we were to be in Athlone at 7 in the morning. And I was to pick up my cunt who was working for us. Anyways, woke up 6:30, my cunt ringing. Oh, I said, fuck. I slept in. Picked up the phone. Sorry, Mick. I'll be there in fucking 10 minutes. Down with the phone. Straight down the stairs in the working clothes. There's Marion making something at the counter. It was dark. I said, I'll talk to you this evening. Out, backed into the trailer. On with for Williams trailer. Down like a lunatic in the Land Cruiser. Past the pub. Packed with cash. Went at 6:30 in the evening. And I rang me cunt and he was laughing at the other end. I said, you fucking prick.
Oh, he set you up.
Turned the fucking Jeep back up to the house, came in with my head down. And she just shook her head, said nothing. Shook her, and it would be us. Had you many pints, but I had 2 or 3.
Jeez, you were caught rotten. Caught rotten.
That happened to me once before as well.
Oh, I tell you.
a bastard.
I have 2 questions. Well, I kind of thought of them today. So what the fuck are we going to ask Donal Byrne when he comes? We don't plan anything, but if you could talk to your younger self, what would you tell him?
Oh, goody question.
Jesus, that's a good question.
Is that a goody question?
Yeah, it's a goody question.
I don't
If you
listen
could
to
talk
goodies.
to your younger self, what would you
If you
tell
could
him?
have a chat with your, say, 16-year-old self, would you give him any advice, or what would you?
There would be 2. One, don't wish your life away. Like, I wish to be finished school, and then I wish to have a fucking Jeep, and then I wish to have a house, and you were constantly wishing and busting your hole to get to the next stage instead of maybe enjoying the moment of it.
To get 18, so you could have a legal
Exactly.
pint.
You know,
Yeah.
instead of enjoying the crack of it all.
Yeah.
So the first piece would be steady yourself.
Slow down.
Slow down, enjoy the crack along the way. The second thing is fuck the begrudgers. I'm able to say that now. I wasn't at the start, and it was difficult, and there was an awful lot of hateful cunts along the way. Now I feel sorry for them.
Yeah.
They're sad individuals. I'm sat in a room here with a great bunch of lads that are off sound. I can go on Instagram and ask someone to pick up something in Cork and bring it. There's a load of people willing to help me. Surround yourself with positive people and fuck the begrudgers.
Yeah.
100%.
That's the advice he gave me. I used to be like that. I used to be worrying what that lad said. He always said, fuck them.
And you can never be king in your own fucking town. I can just tell you that now.
No, not Cantor.
You'll be a prophet in your own land.
Sorry, whatever you want to call it. You'll never. And
No.
that is so true.
Yeah.
And when I started off at the music festival, I had a village meeting that objected against me. When I started with the pub. And you know, last week was the first time there was sort of a peace treaty. The road closed. Everyone got together. Like, it's fucking great to get on with everyone. And to be not benefiting, I don't fucking go out and pick rubbish for the tidy village or plant flowers for benefit. It's lovely to do it. It's our village, likes to mind it. We're not looking for praise, but it's awful nice to be nice.
Yeah.
And you don't know what the fuck is going on in Don's house or your house. And when you meet Don, instead of being a thick ignorant ass to him, Don, how's the crack, my man? And fucking try and help him.
How's
with
your
something.
bag?
How's your bag?
That's the main one.
Yeah.
Did you ever see there someone that give you a bit of hate, you know? I'd maybe I reply, you okay, hon?
Is that
Do
what
you
you
know?
say?
XOX.
Dead right.
Right? Or else then everything okay? Do you know?
And do you not block the cunt?
No, I don't. I'd play with him. I'm fucking don't get a whole pile of it. Sometimes I love it, lad. I love playing with him. But I'd ask him straight out, everything okay?
What was,
And
what was a few weeks ago in the comments that was you making the sandwich in the lorry?
Oh, cheers, lads got very hot over that.
He had a sandwich toaster and just made a sandwich.
But what was the problem?
One fella taught me, he sent a video, he had a George Foreman and a microwave. Oh, you're molly a fucking amateur.
I'm not out to be the king of the
Right.
sandwiches, you
Right.
stupid dickhead.
Then someone said about they have American bread. Right, no, it went, some other fella joined in. Excuse me, he said, Europeans had it fucking on before the fucking America.
Yeah, to giving out about the bread. And then there was one that said you're disgusting for making
But
it on the floor
there
of
is
your
an
lorry.
awful lot of negative ones. And
He
that's why
doesn't-
I left TikTok. Or I only was there a week. And
I like it. I don't wish I
I
get more
have
of them.
no interest. My tagline is unfollow me to fuck out of the way. Because I have no interest.
I like taggy.
You brought up
play
a
with
great
them.
one there a while ago. I had a barley sowed there 2 years ago. And the fucking rabbits had me haunted. So myself and the kids went out with the buggy, gun the rifle, and we shot heap of rabbits.
Yeah.
And I got the kids to hold up the rabbits in the picture. And fuck me pink. And my
Abused.
sister-in-law messaged me. She goes, "You'll be sorry for that." And I just said at the end.
Do that again. Did you see that? Yeah. He just took the last can out and emptied up.
Poor old John, this is thirsty work. Jeez, I'm falling behind here.
So am I.
Here, he's 2,500 gallon, I'm only 1,100. Fucking stop.
High spec. And what's the other slurry tank called?
Major, right beside us,
One
grass care
Major.
machinery. Got to give them the plug.
Did you get a lot of hate with that then?
Yeah,
Huh?
back to
Did
that.
you get a lot of shit with that?
Oh, I did. Oh, fuck, and all the animal rights cunts. And I said to them, straight, where is it gone? Oh, sorry, here it is. I said to them straight away, unfollow me to fuck out the way. Like, people have been killing rabbits for years. They're eating my barley, they're destroying it. What are we going to... If we don't kill them, they're overpopulated.
Yeah.
The deer, the fox, the rabbit is already overpopulated this country because there's too many soft cop shites.
Yeah.
Be a member of a gun club. Every farmer should have a gun. It's called fucking pest control. It's a circle of life. It's been going on for fucking years and come out of the sky, you daft Amadon vegan
There's
gobshites.
gun clubs here in Edenderry and they're hounded to go down to Kerry to farmers to just shoot deer. They're eating grass, they're
So
breaking
why do
fences.
you think we have a TB problem? Now, Michael Healy-Rae on Cody's podcast
Mentioned it,
didn't
yeah.
agree with that. But they don't know how many deer there is and they can't tell them how many there is.
And they're going to do the infrared
Yes,
to have
see.
a deer count. Did you hear that one?
But yet they normally... Go on.
Either way, the TV is a very sad thing. I was passing a place there lately, and I was spotting there was a cattle fucking thingy bob.
Cattle grid.
No cattle truck.
Alright.
The trailer, the drag was dropped at a certain place, and I was passing. I was there fucking every morning. How the fuck that was dropped there? That down below by 120 of them loaded up. TV.
But you know
wiped
what
out.
the mental thing about this is? I was over at Dundeevy's Meats in Ballina dropping in a bull that got hurt belonging to me because we don't kill cattle because they're pedigrees. And I was talking to your man that was there and he said, we'll just say today was Wednesday, we do TB on Thursday. And I said, what happens into the food chain?
It's the same thing.
But I'm confused here now. The government, you're giving the farmer less and the government is subsidising the farmer for what was in it, but the food still goes into the food chain. Yeah. And when you chop up the carcass and you look at the carcass, what percentage of those carcasses has lesions to show they had TB? Maybe 10%.
Yeah.
But yet it all goes into the food chain. So why?
Yeah.
It's anyways, it's not one we're going but it's mind fucking boggling as a farmer.
Is
to
it a
look at.
stunt like to your TV?
There's an awful lot of people employed. There's an awful lot of people making money out of it. Okay, TB is a disease. I can't understand why we can't vaccinate against it. There's a vaccination for everything else.
Yeah,
They created
yeah,
a
yeah.
fucking vaccination for COVID.
We
for
had it in a
fucking-
heartbeat, didn't we?
Yeah,
For humans, like.
I don't know.
TB's not one of your own today.
It's a very cosy cartel, like.
Yeah.
Anyways, we won't go into conspiracy theories. That's my opinion. I'm not saying that's the way it is.
John, how long are we gone?
You have 2 hours done. 2 or 10 minutes.
It's a nice one to round it up on.
I'd say we round up, but Donal, we'll get you again because there's a lot more to talk about.
Lads, it's been a pleasure. It's been like sitting at the bar counter.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it immensely.
Yeah, no,
That's what we aim for.
Yeah,
isn't it?
that's what we aim for. We don't get no script. We just kind of
Chill
just
out.
go with whatever. Do you know?
2 pints.
Fair play to you, and keep up the good old work and spreading the good fucking
Yeah,
word.
and thanks very much. And again, if there anything at all with the failing school, all right, we can help.
Not at all.
Do you want me to teach class or anything? No.
Or even a couple for a chat or talk.
What class would you like to take?
Ah, Jesus, I'd give.
Cop on.
I was going to say take her on,
The
but
Tom Hank class. Yeah. How to get a laptop from your summer wages and get high-speed broadband to the room and bring Henry the Hoover down the
one
hall.
big arm. One little arm, one big fucking arm. But
No.
no, that's it. I was going to, in the middle we were talking there. Do you remember Mr. McGrath, the Tecton teacher?
Yeah.
He actually, me outlet was in for a parent teachers meeting. It was the only exam I ever got 0 in. I just done the border and wrote my name and the date. I was shit at Tectron.
I love Tectron.
And he just said to me the other day, he goes, I get on Fears Road, all my teachers come to Fears Road. I goes, Stephen, I'd love to go have a pint with him. Now I was only fucking fifth year. He goes, great chat over him. He knows the local gossip. Great lad to have a pint with it, say, but he's just not fit for that job. And Meowley come home and told me
Mighty
that.
fella to grow up here tits though.
But Meowley couldn't come home and give out to you. He goes, well, he said you're a grand lad.
I shared a post during the week. I don't know, did you see it? Where it said, I want my child to open the door for the teacher that's carrying too many books. I want my child to be the one to put out the hand and pick up the child that fell down. I want my child to put the arm around someone who's upset. And if the report comes back and said, look, he hasn't had a great year, but he's been the loveliest, politest child to deal with and is going to be getting on very well in life, that's a report for me. I don't give a fuck about A's, B's, C's and D's. And someone said, what do you want for your child? And I don't want them to be doctors, vets, nothing. They sweep the road. I couldn't give a fuck as long as they're happy, because there's a amount of suicides and mental health issues in this country is not even funny. And for that inner peace for children to be happy.
But I reckon that school you're on about doing will lower the suicide rate.
Definitely.
We have a life coach on board. Fair play to Tara after the navigational coach. And she's going to come in and talk to these children once a month. And it's important to learn, like your car. If the light comes on in the dash, you get it plugged in, you get it serviced. It's the same with the brain. It's important to talk to somebody, download what's in it and say, fuck, I just haven't been feeling well. Something is wrong.
Yeah.
Now, if you go back to the basics, if one of us were depressed at the moment and we went into a unit, whether it even be for alcohol or drugs, diet, exercise, and back to basics is the key things that you get into a routine, get up and get out, even if you're only walking a bit.
Yeah.
And that simple things, kids are sitting looking at fucking screens,
Black rooms,
Thank
telly
you.
on,
and it wonders the depression levels.
vape in the mouth.
Online fucking bullying. The problem is, years ago, the bullying went on in school, now the bullying follows you home.
Yeah.
It's on that contra thing.
Yeah.
I had such a row with my young book, no phone. Well, can I get with my communion? No, he won't get one till his fucking confirmation, and it'll be a 6210. I don't fucking want it, because I know what it does.
Yeah.
And I want him to be innocent and happy. And his friends' his phones, and his friends is on this. I couldn't give a fuck what they have.
No, you're right. A Honda, I admire you for that now.
About the education thing. There was a thing on Neil Prindle, the savage fucking brilliant talk show in Cork, in Red FM, and there was junior certs said they were stressed, anxiety and stress of junior certs.
We've created that problem.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's such, what did you get? And what did I get? And what about the poor cunt that got all D's?
Jeez, when I was doing my junior cert,
I remove him from our group, sure. He's kind of stupid, isn't he?
But you know what? The rest of them are going to go on, right? Or if we take from when I was in school, and their parents borrowed money and fucking refinanced houses to put them through college. They went through 3 and 4 years of colleges, repeated, drank and acted bollocks, ended up with nothing.
Yeah.
And their parents were under such pressure to keep up with the Kardashians. My Johnny now is in Sligo and he's doing very well. And
Engineering and...
fuck's sake. Arts. If I hear any more about fucking arts degrees,
Yeah.
there are fucking artists now, they're on the dole, the useless cunts. Do you know?
What I said there a minute ago about preventing suicide, I wasn't saying that people, you get help when you go in there. I reckon...
Enjoy going to it.
No, the suicide rate now is rising of young people because they're coming out of school, they're dropping out of school, they don't know what they want to do, they're not getting a fair chance
And feeling
to
bad about
express
themselves.
themselves to see what they want to do. Whereas that school will give them a chance to say, right, I'm actually into this. I like this. And it'll bring them on. And they won't go lock themselves in their bedroom and be like on their fucking phones and wind their head up. And do you know what I mean? It will. I reckon
for eight subjects or
8 subjects, yeah.
it gives the option like you can figure it out before you think about it, like.
But like the amount of people I knew when I went to school that fucking hated school, even I know you call them goths, but like some of them dropped out.
But there was reasons, they were crying out for help and to be different and change. Correct.
But if they were showing different examples of, would you like to do this? Would you like to do that? Yeah, actually, yeah, that's a bit of me.
But it's even the talking. Like this here in the room, right, along the bar counter the way it used to be, is good for us.
Yeah.
And that's what I was on about the pub or whatever. To be part of a group where you're not the odd one out. While if you were fucking in ordinary level maths and all your friends are in higher level or whatever fucking way it is, you're the odd one out.
Yeah.
You know, that's not what we want.
But I used to go for extra help. And I didn't give 2 fucks what anyone said, but you're singled out of a classroom.
Sure, I was the same.
Yeah.
And I hated it.
Yeah.
Why are you leaving? Where are you going?
Yeah.
You
Why
miss such
do
a
you
thing
go
while
down there?
yeah.
Why do you go to that woman?
And that was wrong the way it's done. It's
Yeah.
totally fucking wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we stand in a circle and read. It's your turn to read, and you're like a fucking Amadon. Do you know? And the anxiety that creates.
Yeah. There was actually a couple of classes now when you said I actually didn't go to because of that. There was a GP I was sitting at, and everyone would be looking to look at Dylan. He wouldn't bother to whole going class, and I wouldn't because I was uncomfortable in that class. Now when I think about it, yeah.
But you're lucky you didn't know it now, but now when you're with, and the amount of lads, I swear to God, if you take that meeting room, I'd say 50% of the room was dyslexic or ADHD.
Which as I was told, like to be fair to my other father, they sent me. Every Wednesday I used to go over to this woman 1-to-1, and I got diagnosed. I used to mix up my P's, B's, and D's. And the teacher copped onto it, sent me for extra, and he goes, "Yeah, there's something there." So I was diagnosed with dyslexia, and a woman explained to me one day. I never forget her saying it. She goes, "Dyslexia isn't a problem. Dyslexia is a different way of learning. It's not that there's something wrong with you. You might need to focus on something more than the two ye would.
100%. Yeah.
It's not that you're sick or there's something wrong. You just have to do it a different way."
But that wasn't explained right back then.
Yeah,
And I just can't understand why
I
they spelled
hated
dyslexia.
having to go to that class, and that class was on a Saturday morning for me in Castlebar, which was wrong.
I was going to Wednesday after school.
And then I was going at 8 in the morning to be back for football training, and the lads would be cycling to football or wherever. Why weren't you at the house? Oh, I was gone somewhere. Where were you gone? Oh, I'm doing a computer course. Like, it was tough to be coming up with an excuse all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And another thing as well, that you're recognising catering, bar staff.
Let's take the bar staff.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the most.
That is such
That's a talent.
skill. Now,
That's-
everyone here
Boom.
fucking appreciates
Yeah.
a good barman or good barwoman.
Yeah.
Last weekend, the bar was 4 deep, and Bucks roared and shouting and trying to get your eye contact, and you kind of keep it going and keep the till topped and the fridge is full. Catering and bar staff is an art.
Yeah.
I know Bucks, right, that are the best barman that can remember 4 orders.
Yeah.
They remember your round when you come back. They know that you like your Smithwick's in a Guinness glass. They know you like
with
a
a Guinness
special.
head.
You know,
Yeah.
That is a fucking skill.
An art. An art.
And even as a waiter or a chef, like there's an Italian restaurant we're going to for fucking 20 years and we go back in. He knows the table we like. He knows that I like the basket of bread. He knows I
Yeah.
want the Peroni. And he might know that I like the grass out of the fridge. That is class.
But a barman used to be a trade.
But
You
it
do
needs
the
to go
friendship.
back to that because
Yeah.
there's no fucking decent
But are you
barman.
bringing that back.
There's one man still in Edenderry.
That's
that
on our
qualified
subject.
barman.
Yeah, I know, yeah, but
Dick Mahon.
What was there actually a
there was a
Sorry,
barman
was
staff,
there?
yeah.
I didn't know. I
So
actually
there's a
don't-
school in Shannon at the hotel in Catering and there's a school in Killybakes.
Yeah.
And they do it. But a lot of them specialise in hotels. And we all know the worst pints we ever get is at a wedding.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
The whole thing I hate about a wedding is the pints. I love to see a fucking man that'll have the glasses right. Because there's an awful skill to pints and people don't understand that, especially
to
with
glass.
Guinness.
Skill to glass.
And it's skill to clean lines, quantity going through it, the keg room. There's a whole fucking
See,
process.
hotels
Aye.
pour
And
Lucozade and shit
To
into.
chat to them.
Yeah.
Chat to people as well.
Or even cop
Or
the
have that banter and, you know.
yeah, cop the old man coming
Yeah,
in,
yeah,
grab the
yeah,
newspaper from
yeah,
out of the bar and throw it out to him.
Yeah.
And with his pint. There you are, John.
But the Yanks do that awful well.
Yes,
the
they do.
Yanks
They
do
do,
hospitality
Yeah.
very well, and they do customer service very well.
Yeah.
But why do they do it? Because they depend on the tips.
Yeah, yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
So they're
big time.
fucking making sure they're going above and beyond. While here, they're not, and they would grunt at you when you're at the till. They'd grunt at you, fire out a pint and it's spilling out, no
Yeah.
fucking decent head in it. It's nice to put down the beer mat,
It's an art in America.
turn it round. There you go.
Yeah. Remember yesterday I was telling you I went into that place to get me dinner in Kinnegad.
Yes.
And I met 2 of the boys, they're at me at a rosary. And one was on shorts and the other was on pints. And there was a young behind the bar. Grand young one, not long out of school, it said. And she was serving drink. And I felt kind of bad ordering 2 pints of the boys off her. But he said, I'll take a short. So he was drinking Jameson in a nice Jameson glass. She came down with the next one in a brandy glass. And he just goes, fuck's sake, Carol, will you get me?
That's a mortal sin.
He
But
goes,
see,
would
she
you
knows
get
no
me a
difference.
whiskey glass? And she'd go, oh, okay. And she'd go over to the man, what's he on about? Do you know, that's bad bar skill. Like, you should be shown the likes of that.
That's what I'm
Jameson
on
in
about.
them glasses, brandy in them
It's
glasses.
a trade.
Yeah.
I don't think people realise how much of a trade. I have such respect for bar people and people in restaurants, hotels, because I am a publican. And I see the effort that happens before the door even opens. And if I'm opening, I like to be there 30 minutes beforehand. I like to have the fire on. I like to have my beer mats out. I like to have the music on the telly. I like the toilets to be checked. I like it to be right.
Yeah.
And I see from the way you keep your truck and the way you go on, we all have a shot of that, where it's a little bit of OCD perfectionist, and it is lovely, though, to have it fucking right. And pints aren't cheap no more. So when
No.
you're paying
Yeah.
for a pint,
You
you're
want a
not
fucking good
drinking
one?
shite.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You want a fucking good one?
Do you work in the pub at all?
I do. I work last Saturday night till 3:30 in the morning. I was down there on Wednesday prepping. When you have a crowd coming like that, you need to get it right. My favourite day to work is a bank holiday Monday, early for the cure.
Yeah.
And I fucking love it. Bucks hanging, getting the crack going, getting the music going, getting them back into a bit of action. They're gone home nice
you
and
know what it
early.
is? You see the life coming back into them.
Yeah.
Because come in hanging. And then on their second pint,
Yeah.
they're starting to cheer.
Come into Dr. Donal,
No,
I'll cure you.
it's the third point. It's the third point.
Yeah. Oh, the third pint they're flying then.
Third point,
They're
that's
way
it,
out of
but
that.
Do you work on a rota, or are you just
No.
whenever you feel like working?
Whenever they're stuck, whenever someone can't come in, and any of those big nights like the truck run, I'd love to enjoy them, but you won't when you're outside the bar feeling guilty for what the pressure is behind the bar.
Yeah.
It's fucking shoulder to the wheel. I can have a drink tomorrow, but it would be lovely to be outside it, but no, it's not fair. I'd feel awful guilty.
There's one thing I admired about Donald the night we were up there. You're out this side drinking with us, but you paid for every drink you called.
Oh, yeah, no, I believe in that.
Yeah, and I said to myself after, I fucking like
It's
that.
not messy then.
You owned the place,
Yeah.
and you still handed the money into the girls. and
No,
they gave you back
it's
change.
not messy, and they know that you're not going to abuse it, and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
see that every point is accounted for. They're not going to abuse it either.
Yeah.
I think most places do that anyway. I don't. You know,
Years ago, I remember being in pubs and publican and stand there shouting drink for everyone. There wouldn't be money ever exchanged.
Get it there.
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah.
Put my name on it.
Yeah.
fucking in my own town, the publicans when they do come outside now, it is just like the one of us.
But if you take some great publicans and they stand out because the pub is presentable from the outside, and they go the extra mile with the baskets and the paint and inside how spotless it is. To keep a pub clean isn't fucking simple.
By the way, my mum reckons you're cheating with the flower pots,
How am I cheating?
getting sprinklers and getting them half done.
But Don, have you ever seen hanging baskets as good as mine?
Mom said, wait. I said to Mom, I said, look at this, look, they're fucking hanging down already.
And the
How
my-
is that? Wait, she says, my mom has this seaweed thing and a tomato food mix.
It's working, whatever you're eating,
says,
it's
wait.
working now.
They're hanging.
That was in the soup when I was in school.
The oxtail.
That was in the oxtail.
Seaweed and tomato with a bit of oxtail. They make Anton hang.
She reckons you're cheating, though.
No,
That's the same. Not the
DNA
same.
blooms.
Not
I
the
have
same.
to say,
You want to get up, you have to water them yourself. Not the same.
no.
she says.
If you have to do something, you do it right. You're flat out on about, we'll say, the butchers, okay, beside you, right? McCarthy's, isn't it? Right. Well, they do that right. Well, DNA
very
Blooms contacted me, and they do this right. The key to Anton, and we think, oh, this country's so wet, you don't need to be watering it. It's constant water. There's no feed or anything in it. It's constant water. And they have their hanging baskets hanging up in a polytunnel before they're delivered to you. So
Yeah, that's what she said. My
Right,
mom said that.
but-
No, well,
if there was any comments about Anton this year, it's about that. And it makes our pub look 100% better.
what do you
Yeah,
do?
yeah.
But mom said, you have to go mom yourself, like.
Jesus, mommy's boy, I'll tell you that.
I tell you.
Oh, it's a big ritual. We planting the stuff. Now we have a pollen tunnel. Mom has a pollen tunnel. We grow on stuff as well, veg, tomatoes, and
Hash, yeah.
a little bit of that, you know, home.
Yeah.
Hey, so what do you think's in this?
Any wonder I'd love that stuff.
You get up.
Oh, I'd rub it on. She'd just lick it off. Will you stop that? I'd roll around in it like a sugar baby.
What she said is that the fun in it is actually watering herself and watching.
But that's because she's fuck all for doing. She's retired. What the fuck
try
am I
to
going
do
to...
it. I know it.
Well, I suppose you should use the water that comes off
That's
the
his
truck.
bicycle.
Wash it.
She even hung a fucking flower over a push bike.
No. How's it hanging?
Mine-
Here, lads, we better go soon. Fuck
Come
me.
here. Tullamore shows very soon. You'll be
Yes,
at it.
I have 2 cattle at it. Love it.
That's where I met you last
Sorry,
year.
it's probably the most stressful show of the year for me.
Is it?
You have to be there early. You can't get your
It's
Jeep.
hard to get in.
Oh fuck! You can't get your Jeep to where you're going. You have these buggies you're relying on. I love a smaller local show, but it's the cream of the crop. So if you want to compete with the big boys, you got to go there. I suppose like any of them big truck shows, you go to the smaller ones, you're not going to see the stuff you see at the bigger ones.
We're fighting over likes on Facebook. We're waiting to get more likes.
Are you on Facebook?
I know I got banned last year for calling Eamon Ryan a wanker.
Colin, who?
Yeah, Eamon Ryan a wanker.
What about his post this week?
Oh, stop, lads.
Housing Minister.
Fucking hell, in Europe.
What the fuck?
I don't know, should we start this topic? Because I
No.
I don't
Part
think
two.
it's
Part two.
Part two.
I'd say we're going to have part 3. I'd say we're on part 2 already.
Yeah.
No, but it's next podcast.
Yeah.
You might. No, she was busy the weekend, Tullamore show. But should we'll book
She'll
you in.
come down and we'll go in live. We'll go live from the
Hey,
tunt with the kettle.
could we do this in the bar?
In Eileen's.
Oh, definitely. Love to have you.
Would you?
I had a brilliant one with Bailey
fuck
before.
it.
Wasn't that a good one?
He was on fire today.
no,
wasn't he?
he's some fucking cunt.
He was on fire.
But that podcast was probably my favourite that Alan did because the story was funny, it was true, and it was sad. And the story of 9/11 is a tough story.
That's.
But
Jesus.
again, like Ben here, if you're in a studio in a big fancy place, it's not as relaxing as being in some place where you feel comfortable.
All we're missing here is a fag tray. A few fags. You can't get more relaxing in here.
Do you smoke, you cunt?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Smoking outside the door there with you.
I didn't spot it. That small thing you're holding in your hand was your cook. Jesus.
Hey, there's very little you don't spot. I don't know how you didn't spot that. Jeez, no, that's the ice. You're dead right. Proper studios and everything.
No, definitely. We'll do one there.
Love to do it.
Where would you do it in your place?
We done it in the front, the small bar, yeah.
Yeah, nice cosy. We were in the corner there that night.
Don't think the seats aren't as comfortable as this. They had stools and you could hear them creaking. You'd want nice, comfy chairs.
But either way, that adds to it. I think. I don't give a shit. All that stuff.
In
adds.
early in the morning before
Yeah.
people come in.
We done one down in
I
the
don't know.
park.
And when you listen to this back, you'll hear the galvanized house here, hear rattling.
I'd say you won't hear it now. Better stuff now.
If you
won't hear
listen to what we done in the park when we didn't have John, we got these mics and we were raw.
You were big stuff, didn't you?
Oh,
Thought you were big stuff.
we were elected.
Big
Mike.
stuff,
You can hear
boys.
lads in the background. 2 Coors, Heineken.
Oh, the pub was open at the
Oh
time.
yeah, we were back in the pub. So a creaking chair won't be the fuck all those.
it got us back on again though.
Yeah, there was the first one got back on.
And we had a camera, and actually, I don't think any of the mics were working. It was actually the camera.
Yeah, the camera mic picked us all up.
We that night afterwards, fucking Paul was looking through it, and he says, "I don't know, that sounds right. There's something wrong here." And I said, "Joe, what? Post it up the fuck, and let him see where we kind of started, and we built, and people were." A load of the people were saying, "Geez, there's someone great." No, I found out it was hard. I went, "No, go away."
The one lad said to me, sound was shit, but the conversation was good.
But sure, that's where it all started years ago. Pirates radio stations.
Yeah.
Midwest Radio,
yeah.
which is our biggest radio, was in the cloakroom of Midas nightclub, and now they're the biggest in the country. So you have to start somewhere, lads.
Yeah, and I said, post it up the phone. And I did it as one in the shed as well, myself and Linda as well. I bought these mics. Jesus, mics. I'm going to have to find them here for fucking $9.99.
It's Middle Isle and Aldi, there he is, Don coming out with a fucking canoe, a wetsuit and a vape microphones and German jam.
And a new flask. A new flask for school.
Oxtail, they'd sail an oxtail.
And a flask. And she had a big furry yoke. And I said to Linda, we're elected here. Like, this is, what more do we need?
Don't be on about Linda's furry yoke in here now, for fuck's sake.
Up here.
Jesus Christ, above in his face, yeah.
I said, we're sitting up here.
Would you believe me, one dog did that to me?
You know what I actually want to get you to do on the top of Friday ago? A picture of you with I shot JR.
Oh, I did. I dressed up as Tom.
Did you?
Yeah, he
for the
did.
Father Take quiz.
John, I see the image of him. Put him on a stone all up in Aghamore somewhere.
But I got the only nasty comment I ever got was about a month ago, where I had Pat Short's my idol years ago, and John Kinney. I said something, and one book goes, "Why you're from Aghamore, Mayo? Why are you trying to be like Pat Short? You stupid cunt."
Saw that.
And I said,
What was
"What a
that on?
sad fucking ass." It
What
was
was
on
that on?
Instagram.
What you do? He said, are you okay,
Who
hon?
the fuck do you
like,
see all these comments?
Isn't
Bob?
Pat Short just a
A
legend?
legend. Two of them. Johnny
No,
Kidd, absolutely
He
legend.
talked about it.
Sure, me and him fucking, we got the unbelievable DVD one Christmas and we
On
watched
repeat,
it
on
inside
repeat.
out.
Yeah, on repeat.
Yeah.
The
whole-
telly, the video,
Yeah.
the mother, one hell of a do.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking
Your
hell.
man, remember that intro? The fucking your man, John Kenny with the meat. With the meat across, you're only going across the boat and you're up in the plane, flagging the plane down.
And the rest of them around the boat in the caravan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go on, head up that con.
That was Pat Short and
It wasn't John. Your man. He was in the general.
yeah.
The stoat that stole me the mommy's horse that died, and the stoat that stole me sandals. And it.
And the light bulb just swinging. The light bulb just swinging it down the car.
One pair.
But you see that comedy, you'll never, ever see it again.
But you couldn't.
Even Pat Short's
because
gone away from it. Pat Short's gone away from it. He's got more acting now, and
But I love the old stuff.
Yeah.
Like where himself and John Kinney were
Mother,
doing
the
quiz.
Mother.
The quiz.
the mother is weird, but so funny.
But it's so true.
Yeah,
That's your mother, I'm your father.
Yeah.
And there she is carrying 2 kegs across.
With a mole. Big fucking Ronnie.
Yeah, bollocks, you can't even boil an egg. I can't. Can you fry one? I can't. Can you scramble it?
No.
I can't. Can you poach it? No. Yeah, bollocks, you haven't the hands to wipe it out.
And the bitch she fell off the roof. Grabbed the 2 kegs and ran in.
I was at a wedding there, Richard O'Donnell's wedding, and then he have the fucking Pat come out to the guard.
The real Pat Short.
Oh yeah,
At the wedding.
Yeah. They only did a few.
He did do it.
Because he must know your man, does he?
Jeez, that's more than 2 years ago. That's fucking 4 years ago.
Oh, for my 40th, that's what I want.
Oh jeez,
You're
right.
40.
I'm saying that there now, Marion, if you're listening.
And of all
Pat Short to come out of the fucking house.
of all tables, a bee lying down for me. Oh look on that. Himself is it? I have videos. I'm sure I sent you. Jeez, he made some beeline down for me. I would have everyone the whole place. Those 380 people at his wedding. He made some beeline down for me.
What did he say to you?
Oh, sure. Oh, look on that. You let down below, is it?
Yeah, talking about other lads too.
Yeah.
He done it to me and
Oh,
me and
guess
you
what?
one day. We were at the show. We went a load of his shows. You see,
See, his daughter was
I've
there as well.
seen him 20, 30 times.
Yeah.
I
There's one
had
who-
my stag party in the pub in Killinscully. And
Seen the
they're
pictures,
2 different pubs. The inside is one pub and the
that's
outside
right.
is the
Is
other.
it? Yeah,
the
yeah.
Bun on Boy, or 2 different pubs. And they didn't do stag parties. So when we went down, we went down first to wait up, and your man goes, oh, we don't do stag. We were a hurling team that were up playing. And when we went up, and it was,
Or the Bally Boys.
wasn't Pat Short going in booking for doing the next Killinscully, and your man goes, this is a hurling team from Mayo. But just that's a fair old venture.
He was actually there.
He just landed in to book. No, it wasn't the day of the stag, but that's what I wanted. I didn't want no strip club in Liverpool. I was happy in Killinscully
yeah.
No,
with creamy fucking pints.
But that's the best comedy ever, boy. No, doubt.
Yeah, as I said,
best comedy.
it's gone.
And there wasn't an awful heap of real rude stuff in it. You know what I mean?
No,
it was
no,
clean.
no.
Everyone could relate to the local buck in the
You
village.
could. You want that? We had one of them in every sketch.
Mr. Cantwell in Killinscully eating the digestives. The hobnobs down the back looking at his bill. A chocolate all over mouth. The simple, funny.
And do you remember the fella, like, the J pitch? And there was always over J pitch.
Yeah.
He probably won't be paid by J pitch. He went probably there. But and remember, he'd climb up the ladder. The one leg up the ladder.
But that underage trainer is the best one ever.
Yeah.
You'll know about it next year, lads, and you go into under 12.
Ah, they're eating them. Eating them.
There he is, leaning on the hole, looking into the puddle and fucking buying himself.
And your man walks out with the towel.
You're only coming for the fucking showers.
Oh, brilliant.
But you know, we spent school, there'll be 2 or 3 of us that get together and we just recite every word
Yeah.
that ever was in that.
Yeah.
Brilliant comedy.
Savage.
I feel
Right,
like
boys,
that-
we end again. Or?
We better end again for the 3rd time. Jesus, this is like a sleepover. You'll hear the mother banging, but you sleep up there with you.
I want to can, don't I?
They're in there, Don. Right, that's the sign we're finished.
All right, another 6-pack for Don. All right, well done, gentlemen.
Right, boys, good night and God bless.
Donal, thank you very much for coming.
Yeah.
Slán Awalya is fade your fucking
Don't be a
limb, boys.
stranger.
Goodbye.
Don't be a stranger.
I won't.
Come on.
Have a way.